was convenient. It wasn't the best, but it was convenient. Little torn. But for today, we'll just keep them separate windows. Where is... Oh, here we go. Here are the alerts. I can have that up. And the stream. Gotta bring up the stream. That's the most important part of a watch party. I know, shocking.
As much, but where do you guys sit and where would you like to see Alpha coming into this? I'll start with you, Billy.
I don't like Alpha on Tejo. I don't like Alpha on Tejo. I'm going to put that out there right now. I don't like it. I think that he's too
Alpha on Tejo. Agreed. I don't like it.
We didn't see Chronicle jump onto the Tejo. So yeah, it's a bit of a weird thing for me seeing him on that agent. I like him on the Sentinel. I think that he's proven time and time again that he's so...
Alright, YouTube is fine.
Duelist as well, I think really helps with Kayak. I think that Kayak is so much more confident when he has...
Let's see.
...dynamic duo of Alpha on the Duelist as well. So yeah, I'm not a fan of the Tejo.
Is the...
It's always a privilege to have Alpha on
Oh, it's the background. The LED in the back is flickering. The camera is catching. It didn't used to. It used to be smooth. Why is it? Why is it doing that today?
We know that he has what it takes to have the flexibility. I think that if you have already Alpha on your team, you want him to be comfortable, because if he is this good when he's swapping around so many things.
The problem is, if you want him to be comfortable, he will only play ISO. he will just play.
All right, let's see.
You know, he has to. He's not by himself. You know.
No, but if you take only his opinion into it, and knowing Alpha and knowing what he wants, I'm telling you right now, he would just be like, "Plum me on ISO every match."
Change it to Valorant.
Sacrifice comfort like a tiny bit, a little bit.
Okay, that should be all good to go. If you want to follow the chance combo separate is a better pick. No, yeah, exactly. That's why I tried it separate today, but I just have like a tiny monitor as my secondary monitor, so I might have to sort something else out. It's also because I have it below my monitor, but it's a little annoying, so I might have to sort out a different setup. I might have to get a stand or something so I can prop it up somewhere. Hello, IJ over on YouTube. What do you make of Paper X's roll swaps? I kind of like it. I like the direction that they're trying. Obviously, it's probably not final, but I'm kind of okay with it, actually. I think Mind Freak on Sentinel is kind of good. Jing on Omen, I kind of like. Something's the only, I think, question mark of like, man, it doesn't feel great, but I think it's fine for now.
What compositions are they running in that case?
I'm an Alpha.
Alright, chat. We have a couple minutes. I'm going to see if I can go grab a quick bite before the matches actually kick off. So I will be right back. My vote is for Fnatic, but honestly, I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm such a, great, best ISO player in the world. Sorry, Meteor. Like you said, amazing race player. I would love to see more.
He played 2 maps in the Jet, and he had 14 kills with his ultimate. It's going above everybody else, and also with the operator.
Yeah, but the thing is, if it's anyone that can maybe deal with this and maybe read into how to solve this problem on the other side, it would be Angel and Navi, you know? The handful of times where they have played against each other, you know, hasn't been too bad for Navi, all things considered. However, though, will the map pool benefit both of these teams? Are we going to see some new things? We are going to play a quick game and just talk about the map pool. Here, I would like to call this Draft It or Shaft It. Very simple concept. I'm going to give you two a couple of comps from Navi and Fnatic, and I want to know, if you were the coach of these teams, would you be drafting a comp like this today, or would you be binning it, shafting it completely? So let's start.
Draft is yes and shaft is no.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So let's start start with the Navi Lotus comp.
Oh,
Of course,
God.
Lotus is still in the pool. I know Billy has nightmares about this.
I
So
do.
I
I'm just gonna
will
look in this direction.
I will
look at you.
start
I'm just
with
gonna look
you.
at you.
Would you draft this or shaft
Get
it?
this
And
shafted
why?
away. Get it out. I hate this double sentinel, right? I think, especially on Lotus, they were not playing it in the way in which they should. Anytime they had that Sage wall, they were just using it to wall off B main. And then we were just like, okay, now we can't re-clear that space. I do not like it whatsoever. I don't mind the Vice. I don't mind that. But Koala Noob on Sage, I said it in kickoff. I will say it again. Please get my man Koala Noob off of the Sage. I am begging you, Navi.
I think that this is like overcomplicating things in some extent. Like, I like the Tejo. Do I like it within all of this? Do you need this amount of stopping power? You have a freaking Vice. You have the Astra, the Tejo that can also delay the Sage, and they still will get onto your side. Like I do not think that this fits them. I do not think this can work full time. And I think that also one of the reasons that it makes me so pissed, quote unquote, is because it's Lotus and it's not the first time that we see Navi doing a little bit of like the wonky things of like, oh, let's put Brimstone here, or like, or let's put CNET on Omen, or like, I don't know. I do have PTSD with this. So I like the fact that they're willing to try something new and think outside of the box, not think of how we did things back in the day, put in the Tejo, using the Vice, as you're saying, Billy. But maybe a couple of changes here.
Yeah, it would also be kind of cool if we see Shao on Tejo, you know, at some point. That'd be nice, be fun.
You don't have to convince me.
Yeah, I think he will be really good. Well, let's so shaft is across the board. We shafting this?
Yeah, shaft.
Okay, that's a big,
Where's the
big no-no, big
Okay.
no-no. Let's see the next one and see if you would draft this Ascent comp, since Ascent is back in the pool. And Kakuka, you know, there's a high chance that Navi insta-pick this.
Yeah.
High chance.
Yeah, exactly,
So-
because they were probably the best in the region, in the map at some point. Just looking at this, seeing Dedican Heroes, this is last year,
Yeah.
right? Especially with the changes that we've seen on the Deadlock, what we saw yesterday from Mosi,
Yes.
he gave a masterclass. This is a composition that would suit them very well. I wonder now how they would do things. Like, obviously you would put Kajak on the Jet, maybe the Waylay. I think that is something that could also be explored there. I think that's a map that could work. And yeah, just put Crashes on the I would say absolutely.
Draft?
Yeah.
All right, Billy?
I think I would draft this. Yeah, I don't totally hate it. I think, like you say, Bear, when we seen that Deadlock yesterday, it looked so strong on Ascent. And I think in the way in which Chronicle play is similar to Mosey in the sense that it's very reactive, right? So I like this. I do like it a lot. The only
Wasn't my
thing
fave,
is,
but I'll give him the room.
if Hero is on Navi now and they do decide to play Ascent, he might, know some things about
Oh,
how to...
he never played against Optic and RGNV. Like, I trust Austin's got different lineups. You know, he might come in with some new stuff. Okay, one more comp. We'll do the Haven. Of course, I think this is the one that saw so much success on some of the other teams. T1, I know they love this. I know Talon, you know, they spoke out. Cruz was talking about the ISO Yoru as well. So I'll start with you, Billy. Do we change anything from this Fnatic Haven comp? Do you think this still has legs?
I don't think we change it. I like it. It works. It managed to bring them over the line against Navi last time. Not to bring that one up, but it did. We got to see Alpha
All right.
crazy on the double duelist. We've been singing their praises throughout this whole pre-show, so I really like this.
Yeah, Chobra takes over every now and then.
Question.
Chobra's putting in overtime today.
Is this my team? Like,
This is your team.
am I coaching Chronicle, Kayak, Boaster?
Maybe you look into a stand for a tablet iPad.
I can make something.
Yeah, exactly. But then it's like further away. I could put it here, like vertical,
What I mean is,
but
like, if
I don't know.
This team?
Yes.
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 I do not trust many other.
Do you know when the estimated arrival of the Noshim giveaway goodies is? Let me double check. They put up a tracker for me on if it's actually been shipped out or not, but I think it. Well, I guess international, I'm not so sure. Let me see if I can see it right now, actually.
Yeah, but for as of today, right now,
If I'm coaching this Fnatic, I keep
you
this.
would draft this?
Because I think that Milan mentioned it in the interview, and we cannot forget, with everything that we've said about Alpha, I'm just going to keep on going. That Haven, there is a moment where they're 11-5 down, And Alpha just, you could see it in the VOD. You can go and watch that video back because he decides he is not going to lose. They were able to win in kickoff. Let's see if they can do it today and if he can keep bringing that energy for the team.
And it helps that he never loses it in his ult.
So I don't have an estimated date, but I believe yours has been shipped out. So
We'll see. We'll find out.
it looks like it has been shipped out. So obviously it's international, so it'll take. It won't be instant, but shouldn't be too long.
This long-standing rivalry. Here is Fnatic and NAVI.
All right, chat. We got some seaweed and some rice with like a little. I don't know what type of like mountain vegetable this is, but like a vegetable sauce. I don't know. Yeah, my mother-in-law just gave us like a bunch of like side dishes and stuff recently, so our fridge is packed. Here's a VCT America's fun fact from last week. On the 100th day split, Sage heal was only used 3 times. 2 times was self-healing, 2 out of 3 uses were one single. That's a crazy stat. Nah, Tron, we'll take it easy. Just because I might hop off just after one match. Probably will, so.
This is the 12th time that
Dude, why is everybody on Fnatic taller than their counterparts on Navi? What the heck?
Both are very desperate to reinstate their dominance in EMEA, and the new maps could just help them do it. Is this? Can we check if this is the real map, Vito? Because I don't.
Wait.
I don't.
There are some points in my life where I just don't understand Navi, and I just want them to win so we can have an interview and ask for this because they went into ban Ascent and pick Fracture. Fracture, by the way, the map that the 4 times the Fnatic played during kickoff, they picked Fracture.
Okay, I think the context of the Ascent is for those that don't know Navi, that don't know Angel. Every single time that Ascent has been in the map pool, Billy, Navi have always chosen it. And we know that is because they always have to start on the attack, and they became an incredible attack-sided Ascent team. This is their home ground for the last 5 years.
Yeah, but I think as well we do have to consider the changes, right? They got 3 new players in.
Yeah, we'll send you guys to Vans if he's still watching match 2.
But Koala Noob doesn't feel comfortable on Ascent.
Maybe. Who am I to judge? But I think for me, like the big thing as we look towards Split being that first map, hello? Fnatic picking that one is so weird to me, and then deciding to leave Haven as a decider. We saw it go to overtime last time, so I think it's very, very brave that Navi decide to just go, yeah, okay, we'll let Haven be the last map.
I mean, they had to choose between Icebox or Haven, and you heard it from Milan. Milan said, we're so happy about the new maps coming in. This is our comfort. I feel like he lied to me a little bit because maybe I thought they would pick the Icebox, but hey.
I think that even considering the Ascent and maybe runs on double duelists and changes that we're seeing
Split. We got Astra, Omen, Vice.
I really like that.
Yeah, I really like the double duelist from Fnatic.
Meanwhile, Astra, Viper, no Omen on the side of Fnatic.
On the Fades is an interesting concept to
But
me.
it's double duelist, so I think that's okay.
A map like Split, I'm expecting him to be able to help set up on that.
I actually I'm down with both.
But looking over at Navi as well, we're going to see Hero jump back onto that Vice.
I think Navi's is tougher. I think Viper just makes things easier. I don't know if Viper is necessarily better.
That is definitely on his to-do list, right? Because we saw and spoke wonders of Hero throughout the entirety of last year. So for him having a rougher kickoff, playing in
But the Vice wall is going to be, I mean, the Yoru has to be able to scout things out. I'm very curious where they're going to put up the walls, especially with Yoru being on the other side. Because if you just put it up on main, it's just going to be trade for trade every time, right? But you lose out on that because you're losing passive info.
On this map since like 2022, they always steered away from the Viper since then. So this is very, very exciting. As if this wasn't exciting enough, I got more excitement.
Do your stretches, chat.
Over to you guys. It looks like
it's actually so goated that they always do the stretches. It's so good for you.
Yes, we're very proud of our beautiful baby boy. First day at work as well, incredible. But let's kind of talk about this though, because it's a vintage.
It's great to see
matchup
Hypog back.
with a little bit of a vintage feel with some of this composition here.
Yeah, vintage being the key word. I think this goes back to, or Fnatic coming back towards a double controller composition. Actually feels quite nice here. Again, it's a refreshing change, I would say. It comes back to where Fnatic, I guess, went through an era of being very, very successful on Split.
Yeah, I think that it's a slight variation on the comp that they were playing before.
Sure.
They were playing the double duelist before, but this, with the Fade, gives them a bit more options, especially on that defense, where before they were struggling a little bit in kickoff.
FBX with the Angel is
They
the
have more
only team to have
options
ever
than those.
13-0 Fnatic. That's a crazy stat.
Slow kickoff here to the pistol.
Map 1 easy? No, I don't think so. I don't think anybody gets a map easy
Saying that
today.
outside eight, it's not much in the form of defense on the other side of things for NAVI, but
Yeah, it looks like Crashies is just trying to make the distraction towards middle, and Fnatic can just explode onto this A site on a good timing.
The Angel
Time to jump.
to try and deal with what's about to
All
come
right.
his way, but waiting
Finish
for
my
the
food.
kind
Let's
of
lock
trigger
in.
to this. It looks like we're about to see it happen.
Oh, I don't think
First steps forward.
I don't think any of our regular Twitch mods are here, so I'll do the Gambus. Tron, don't worry, but I'll do the Gambus for the
postured for a retake.
Yeah, great
For
open
the
plan here as
future
well. Watch
maps.
for Crashies on this mid lurk later on after this retake starts happening.
If you're able to do it for this one, you can do that, but the future maps, I'll do it. No worries.
priority comes through. You can see actually Crashy's tucked all the way in mid right now, just waiting for something, the green light for him to make moves.
Chat, that was actually spicier than I thought it was going to be. I didn't realize it was like a spicy sauce.
Flash go in. Trying to clear towards Pillar, but spammed away a touch now. Down to 79 is the push towards the site.
Oh, I mean, this is doomed for Navi. There's just no shot.
Holding the flood back in. Chronicles low, but he's still got support. It looked like it was all going one way as Koala Noob is going to fall. Fnatic, very clear.
Hey, what's up?
Really well coordinated as well, as it didn't even really need to rely on Crashies late onto that retake, but Navi, again, the follow-up to site
The Phoenix
here,
transition
it
is
just so
nice.
happens both against these two kills. There's no-
It
you can't
feels a little
really
random
plan
other
for
than the fact that
but,
he's British, but
Yeah, it's rough because I think everybody from Navi's almost committed towards site. Maybe the penny dropping a little late
Nice,
on where the
boys.
plant was. Again,
Beautiful,
that would have been
boys.
the big indicator.
dude, why are their
That's
voice
what
comms
dropped,
so
so there's
clear?
gonna be a late heavy
The audio
fight.
quality.
I'm surprised that Navi opted to play so retake heavy. I don't see their composition as one that is going to be particularly strong on those retakes. Like they didn't even, I didn't see a good use from Paranoia there either.
Yeah, that was a bit of a missing piece. Now, again, you're looking at the purchase here for Navi. It is exceptionally light. so
it's
nothing
weird
to
because I
fly
can
home about,
see
but they are
where
at least
they
in the
think
right
their
place.
retake could be good.
He's here.
I actually, because you have double orb smokes, so I can see that finding value, but
Heads up play here. Alfie had to find it with the paint shells.
against Fnatic's comp, I mean, they're able to block your retake, right? Your retake requires them to respect your smokes, and they can just disrespect it with your raise.
Response from Navi at least.
Again, such good info off this Fnatic. No oversteps from Navi though. Wait to see who will be the first.
Up to
move.
round 4. Ooh, I like
Really
it. It's going to keep things
gets away with
spicy.
it. Robbery and Fnatic are having absolutely
Everyone's
nothing.
going to think they're just going to vote for Fnatic.
Under pressure, these classics
And then
finding
right
very
at the end of
value on
round...
this.
What
And
the
it looks
heck?
like someone wants a round done. Alpha, a little bit of a slap back to the face. So Shao's going to try and hold his ground at least. But if anything, just looks like a little snapping turtle down there. I don't think there's much more to come from it.
Oof.
Nah, Chronicle, zero fun to be had. Not letting that happen. A clear second
Fnatic
round
never
now.
throws unless it's for
Actually
content.
designed the old anti-eco for
Oh, here we go.
Fnatic.
Here we go.
Classic.
I don't know if you guys know.
Wait. I'm about to praise the new Fnatic.
Okay.
The fade makes it a little bit easier. We had to do some very ridiculous things with Cypher cameras to, you know, we didn't have anything to get any contact, but the fade here allowing, you know, space to be cleared quite easily. Nice little anti-eco that they had there.
The one that I made.
Yeah.
Not that this one.
If I may say so myself.
I was giving credit.
Didn't sound like backhanded.
Is this what it's going to be like? This?
Yes.
Well, actually, this is really to just break the ancient bias that we supposedly have towards them.
Oh,
We just
yeah.
have somebody to mold now. If
Yeah.
Fnatic do anything wrong today, but we can
All right,
get back
Navi's
to
trying to
Coach
push
Cam
out
Mini.
aggressively, but
Coach
it-
Cam Mini.
just
I
wanna
get-
squeeze it out. I've never figured
Their
it out.
comp,
Honestly, who knows? But
I don't know.
Navi
On paper, I
can't
feel
figure out
like
what's
I
going
like
on.
it, but the more I see it, I'm not quite sure if it has a clear identity.
Charged it super early. That Paranoia push in. Chronicle's still alive. He's not fallen yet.
That's
He
a
does
lot
go
of
down,
investment, but it does get. I like
of
it
how
though,
many players are on that A
because you
side.
used a lot. You used double prowler, I think. Yeah, double prowler and paranoia. So it is a lot, but it completely negates this toxic screen and the potential lurk.
Retake again.
Yeah.
Now you have numbers advantage. You can have 4 people retaking, 1 person watching mid for a cross, right? They should definitely send 1 person to B heaven right away. I mean, they can both go if you're willing to just look back. You already lost 1 guy. So Fnatic with a nice adjustment hitting spawn because you don't have the lurk power anymore.
So there's a tough retake.
Alpha.
Arcros is still up.
Around this, fall back a little bit. They're getting a little bit of pressure on
I think it's on
towards
cooldown though, yeah.
Again, big impact from the man so far. 2 kills, looking for a 3rd. He's got it. Eyeing up maybe a 4th. IGL v IGL. Angel's got that one in the bag.
Angel's also shooting.
Started off hot. Like if he
Was it
got
up to
that
6
one too,
already?
6 and 1, yeah.
Would have been a huge clutch to find here on round 3. But the battle was old as time between Angel and Boaster. Coming out on top this time.
Yeah, I think it was just the round was pretty much down to Chronicle dying there early. That kind of Viper outside A. I don't think he's ever played Viper on this map. At least I've never.
I mean, you should know.
Well, I mean, he didn't play it with me. But he was the 2nd highest rated Viper in 2023 behind Leaf. So I'll give that one out for free.
That's pretty good.
He's got them in his back pocket.
Hasn't he? He's got a Rolodex of it. Remember when I did this, guys?
Yeah, but it's not a very good retake comp though.
So early on in this half, identifying that
Again, like as I was saying, I get the idea because you have double orb smokes, but that assumes that they're going to respect your smokes.
Yeah, exactly. Straight away you see the adaptation.
Right? And it's like,
Much deeper. NAVI will allow him to do so.
I don't know if that's what you want to rely on.
Guns blazing, charging him down, but
I actually do think they might be looking to do a bit more than usual on attack and just hoping for, you know, like even just a 6th round they might be okay with, especially considering it's double duelist on the other side. Ooh, not okay. Nice little bait and switch.
Alpha and Kron to try and pick up the pieces, but this mid battle is won.
actually Spike so really fully lost here, but it's going to be fairly difficult to retrieve, especially with the gap between Chronicle and Alpha. They're not just going to give this up already. 40 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, it's kayak.
Unless they're going to go for some weird
Like
yeah,
the
I was
boat.
going to say whether or not they do actually look as if they want to group and make some progress towards ramp.
Angel's the only one really in danger here, but this is good holds, right? Because you've got the wall, got the wall for passive. You had someone watching here earlier. You were watching here earlier. I don't know why they keep looking over here. Like, you have the wall. You don't, especially on a timer, you don't have to worry about that.
A control and kind of make Fnatic scared, and then we're able to just stack towards middle, or like have that mid fight quite nicely. So Navi reading the pace of the game, like reading it quite well.
Now I'm just going to let this one simmer on out at 2-2 here. Navi not letting this get too far from them. And again, kind of rolling our minds back to expectation. Between
Only
these
here
two,
for Pansy High Pocket
once upon a
Mini.
time, this would be the marquee matchup, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It's a very different time now looking at these two teams.
I think it's fair to say the expectation is still very high for both these teams, right? And it's, again, not necessarily a disaster, a kickoff, but definitely below where we'd expect.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're both just below expectation. I don't think they're like bad teams, you know.
One of the things is we've got to see the value of the crashes pick up. I don't think we've
Shout, the old FPX breaking apart was pretty sad, especially Shao and Sugetsu.
Big name.
A very big name and a very capable player. That
Fnatic is playing no Sentinel, but you're playing a Viper Astra, so like your anchoring is powerful. It's just the passive info you don't have.
Coming in too.
But they're double duelist plus fight.
And smacks his head in. That
yeah,
What?
It was so far away.
What?
I mean, was he on stairs when he popped it?
I think so.
Maybe just a complete miscomm here, and
Yeah, I think he just wasn't. Maybe he just wasn't paying attention.
You're looking at the purchase coming here for Fnatic. It's the 2 Vandals, and any small reward is pretty nice for Fnatic. They'll be happy with that. The 3 Sheriffs here. There is some threat though. Again, Alpha's only 2 away from his ult. Chronicle instantly put.
Was
low,
that a
but that's
misclick,
maybe
though?
A switch out of a weapon now.
yeah, it is. Fnatic just basically waiting for somebody on the side of Navi to
I don't even.
find an opener here on the back of.
Because I don't know if you. I don't think it was a missed satchel. I don't think it was trying to go over the wall. That would be a little crazy.
This strat is going to be a little fake towards B, and then we're going to see the Astra Viper maybe getting a lurk into middle here behind.
If it works out, they are really
Like him just
pressuring
not
through that
dealing with
B
it,
main.
breaking it
We're
right at
seeing
the
support
end.
smoke
It does
coming in from
out
above.
him.
Bruxic. Boaster,
Dude,
beautiful timing on
Boaster.
Hendrick, but the time,
Against
10
Hero,
seconds, they gotta
too.
still really make this work. Shao trying to be a thorn in their
However,
side, but it's
Shao?
Angel taking away Boaster and time is of the essence. 5 seconds.
Still get it.
That is so close, but I think they got this down.
Yeah, he's got
They
it.
do 2v2.
Shao's on 15 HP.
How the hell did Kron just get
What
that
the-
as well? That's perfect.
Easy
Kron
free
was only
kill.
on 10 HP himself.
Yeah, but
Kawhi
the health,
burned that all
if he can get
early.
this kill.
Now might be feeling the pressure. The Kron caught completely.
Oh, I like- oh,
aghast,
okay.
unsure where he
Oh,
was,
what?
and there it is. We asked the
Dude.
question of Crashies. He found an answer this round.
Oh
Beautiful recovery as well,
no.
'cause it almost looks like a couple of members of Fnatic going to get isolated caught ahead of this, but a crucial kill from Chronicle onto Shao.
That was a blunder.
I mean, I don't know if the intention is to commit towards bottom mid here.
Yeah, I mean, is it a trap with the
Yeah.
wall though?
But just to notice, again,
Something about that
Boaster
feels so
looking for
off.
phenomenal
It feels
to
like
kick
such
things
a
off here on Split.
like even if it worked ideally, I don't know.
I can't tell you the name of that
It's one of
strat.
yours.
It's one of Boaster's. And I'm not allowed to tell you the name because it's questionable for broadcast.
We're not that far down the coast, we just yet.
Give it a couple more maps, you never know.
We're
Hold
still
on.
censored.
Bruxic is under pressure.
Yeah, he is so stuck, man. Dude, the prediction page shows. Oh my gosh.
That's a 5v4 above a minute.
Yeah, gonna get
No, I think Koala Noob is definitely
play here.
just nervous
I mean,
in
that's really
general.
what's missing. Chronicle and
Seems like his
Crashies.
decision making is a
Only one away.
little
Poor Fnatic, should they choose to
panicky.
invest in. Again, still got my eye on when Chronicle decides to make moves. He's actually slipping back into sewers now.
Angel. Oh god, Angel.
Oh my god, it was so
Ooh.
close to nearly
Ooh.
spot that.
Yeah, nuts.
Okay, but the
Fire in
Euro
meantime
has cleared
popped
heaven.
out. You
Koala
have
Noob
the
has an
see
opportunity
pretty much
here.
everything, and you're gonna hear
Oh,
the
but then you
this
have
one's
Chronicle
intentional,
coming
but it
right
still
back
doesn't
out
find
too.
its fan. Angel?
Angel?
Still alive. I don't know how. It feels like he's
Koala Noob backs
just
off,
ping-ponging
so
around the
Angel's
site.
just
Fire
all
Pioneer
alone,
removes
dead.
him. Man advantage still to Fnatic, and then continued. Chow
Ooh.
down, it's on Hero
Quick
and
from Hero,
Koala Noob.
but it's an
Very
op.
difficult as well. Divide adding on top. Fnatic want this round. They've invested into it.
Oh
Brutal
man, if
time
he had
here
gotten
and
the first
face
one, maybe he chains him,
the
but
team he was once eyeing up.
dude, Koala Noob,
gonna
what
take him
this
away with
giant
just
dot?
Koala Noob
Holy.
shots. It ain't over. Does he expect the position here? He's playing it
God, you
well.
can tell the
Crashies
movement
has
is
really
it's
got
very
luxury angle, but it
twitchy.
felt close for a moment there.
Yeah, it was toying with the idea of full clearing that, but regardless, Fnatic find their fourth. Again, actually finding some positives here in the early round. But again, not overcooking. They're not too quick to reposition here. They're cautious in approach.
I think this is the history of these two teams. Like Boaster knows that Na'Vi. and
Yeah, it
Angel
seems.
seem
Yeah,
to
it's
the
like
defense
yeah.
in the mid
There's a
rounds,
lot.
like,
There's
he knows
too
that
much
they're gonna
thinking,
be
but he's still like he's
freezing
still
in these mid rounds through this series is going to be big for Fnatic. on the attack side.
But he's like trying to do everything still quickly. Yeah, I think it's a good timeout just to calm things down.
Understanding what they want to do, preparing for it, and playing very well.
Do you see Zap's wrist? Oh, I haven't checked it out myself yet. I know that it's up there. But that's just a mess, man. That's true.
In reaction, we saw that beautiful conversion in that round. The Sheriff said
I
two
think
Vandals,
they're the
even after
same
such damage on Chronicle
age.
early on, still able to convert. We're seeing some lovely
Just
stuff from
Vash and
Fnatic, but
Angel.
The depth now gets tested for NAVI here.
I
What
think they're both
options are you
my
seeing
age.
from either of you? Is there many open
I'm
avenues
pretty
here?
sure
Because
I'm like
I
a
like
couple
what they were
months
doing
older
earlier.
than
It feels
Angel,
like that was
but
adjusted to within
I
a
forget
round.
if Jesse
Sure,
Vash
yeah,
is the
I
same as
don't
this or
think-
1 year
I don't think you really
older.
justify it.
Wait,
So
no,
they're the
Angel's
same
1
sort of
year
thing to set up
older
the
than
deal
me?
with
Hold
Chronicle.
on.
There's a big question mark now. This might be around this kind of indicative of
No,
how Fnatic
Angel's
will
my
test
age,
it
I'm pretty
because
sure.
There's so many bodies elsewhere. If Na'Vi can identify one of these avenues, one of these lanes to explore early on, I absolutely want to see them do it. Now
Which
we've got
should
some
be
ultimates to maybe complement that, but it's not
Or
really a
30,
composition you
34
wanna be
or 35,
pushing out
turning
too far on
36. He's
defense.
turning
Yes, it's
36
not
this year.
necessarily suited to the retake, but
Yeah,
it's
Hero
like-
grudge,
it's like
grudge
they can
match.
fight aggressive, but
Yeah.
at the same time, I don't think
What
they
about
win.
Jesse Vash though?
Fnatic are well equipped to deal with that sort of thing.
So far, displaying that here, comfortable round as it stands.
Oh, Jesse Vash is a year younger. Dude, Jesse Vash ain't even that old.
It's clean work from Fnatic. Bruxic, nice little pick up
No,
there.
Jesse's a year
There needs to be
younger.
a lot more of that for them to actually find impact on the round.
Yeah, the exact same anti-eco approach we saw before, and it's, you know,
이거 다 아메리카스도 보고 저는 아마 다는 못 볼 것 같아요. 저는 EMEA도 아마 이 경기만 보지 않을까 싶은데. Same age, y'all could be teammates. Me, Angel, and Sliggy, we're all the same age.
Able to back away. Xiao, not so much.
Make the
That's unfortunate, really.
next year we're gonna make the late 30s premier team. Run it back.
So for now, clean stuff going down, not the end of the world. Happy with that one. Fnatic looking very composed.
What is
here.
that noise?
And again, how did we feel when we saw them at kickoff? Actually, I'm going to come back to that because we do have so many ults in hand here for NAVI. The pendulum swings that this has to be the big round, right? If they've got a trump card to pull out, this is the one you do it for. Operator in play.
I thought Sliggy was the oldest in plant chat. I'm a couple months older than Sliggy, which I was shocked to find out.
Yeah, I was going to say, finally, we're back to... I think this might even be almost a carbon copy of previous, but difference being there are bodies for Fnatic on the other side of the
He's 35.
It's not just Chronicle. He's got the boys with him.
If I'm not mistaken.
Concentration. Trying to pick a choice.
Operator noted as
Well,
well.
no, first of all, I'm not the oldest, Chad. Clinton exists.
Exceptionally similar, doesn't it? Same sort of
Please.
setup, that same spring towards sight. When
Paper Thin
go forward on this, no. They
is
actually look
literally
to have
by
made it
far the
completely different
oldest on Fun Chat.
Boaster as well. He's going to find anything towards Xiao. He was considering a lurk out, but still actually get a little bit of contention here. Yep. While they're going to find Alpha.
Nice shot.
Brilliance from him. Sticking around after it felt so quiet on the map as well. Rechecking towards heaven, staying.
Elder Millennials can be
man,
your
but-
team name. I like that actually. Elder Millennials.
Did Xiao must have seen Boaster then.
I guess Paper Thin's not a regular. Yeah, that's true. Paper Thin is much more of a
Navigated past the
occasional guest. That is true.
Considered a late look from Angel, maybe starting to put it together, but he turns away, and the timing is divine. Kayak slicing through them, and now Xiao has to evacuate.
So the TP though into the backlines here from
Oh my
Ruxic.
God.
This could be disastrous.
Wait.
Ooh.
Boaster has a look, but even he's a bit
Oh,
surprised.
oh, dude, Ruxic!
That's
How?
stunning. Spikes
Dude,
down.
he plays
This could be
around that
done for.
smoke. Oh, dude, Kayak!
Ruxic is not
The
falling.
panic, the
Defending
time.
that
What
spike
is
with
that
his life.
noise, man?
A crash, he's now just too late to the party. It felt so perfect for a moment's time, and Ruxic absolutely
What is
trashes
that crackling
I was about to
noise?
make the point that they had the Vice ult and the Astra ult, Fade ult
I
ready
think
for
it's a-
this retake.
I think
and
it's
then Roxas
bugged?
decided to just use an Omen ult instead.
Somewhere?
There's a moment's hesitation there. I'm not sure of what the pressure was on the front side because I was so focused on the TP behind. And Ruxic's
Oh,
just
yeah, it
gifted.
might be something from the crowd.
See here, yeah, it's Boaster to come through, but again, it's so disjointed to come back and deal with the TP. Chronicle's caught in a weird...
Sad nobody's
rubber
mentioning
gun
Sunday.
situation
Well,
there.
I
Kai's
mean,
got not much else to do there.
it's a
Some
little
sort of desperation move
different.
to get the spike back, but
I know that the Vice wall in that later round kind of caused a false sense of security, but I do think Fnatic are going to have to deal with that wall. Like, having that wall up for Na'Vi the entire round gives them so much information to kind of move around and deal with wherever...
Yeah, that's right. Omen ult's value. More value than Waylay, am I right?
variety approach, but we are seeing an answer back from Alpha.
yeah.
Fancy a go himself. A
9 and
tap side
6. Qualinum.
in hand.
He's doing okay. He doesn't have to panic.
Different challenge now.
Awareness from Koala as well.
Yeah, we did see the Fade Crashies there trying to crowd her out in case.
Oh, the
Yo, give me that. Give me both POVs. Give me both
And the
POVs
player
on that.
reacts.
wait.
Please. I blinked and missed it.
But
That's-
whose was that
does
though?
that give away much? What does that tell you here?
That was theirs,
Fnatic
right?
now finds themselves
Dude,
on one
what
side
a
of the map,
play.
right?
What a
Kind of leaning towards this B site.
Dude, that was a sick.
Oh,
That was a
nice from
sick
Hero.
fake
Instantly
smoke.
stopping Alpha in his tracks. They still have util here.
Because it makes you focus on the smoke and then he just peeks off of it. That was so good.
Cut the sound here. Chronicle actually opting not to progress through mid. Trying to make his way back towards B main here. Fnatic got it.
Xiao just
Make
holding,
use of this
wanting.
window.
Oh, he's been spotted.
Strange divide of the site. The ults layered now. Gonna make this tricky. Boaster. The
Oh,
operator
huge
there, look,
flash.
said things about him within the
Oh,
past as
Xiao
well.
had
It's
no
so
idea
well.
what hit him.
Ruxic was the
Ruxic,
hero they
Ruxic.
needed, and right now he's melting. It's down to just Angel. It's only for a moment.
Oof.
Fnatic's composure in these crunch scenarios. seems exceptional.
And it's
Oh,
so
it
well
is the
coordinated
twos,
actually
but it
when
just
this
sounds really
engagement
weird through the
finally
mic.
comes through. Fnatic have got a couple of really good answers in terms of that freeze. Oh, it's pixel perfect for Chronicle.
Damn, dude.
Poster as well. I'm gonna keep saying that today. Kayak as well, dealing with Shout. Yeah, really well rounded. I
just
said
wanted to note-
composed once they get in.
On the map, look out for
A
Navi,
Boaster
the way they're
actually
playing, the
opts
smoke
quite
around
rather
the surface of the
frequently.
radar right there.
Boaster, like,
They-
he'll pick
they
up the
keep
op rather
trying to smoke
frequently
that
every
off,
now and then.
have like a weird
He's not like
balance
the
of control.
go-to
He's
opper,
giving
but
Fnatic a lot of space to just be composed on the side.
And that is something that's
Oh, I can't
surprising
wait for later
considering
tonight,
how tense
chat.
it felt that Fnatic have looked quite
Secret versus
comfortable
Zeta and then
in
T1 versus
situations that
Nongshim.
probably
Dude,
wouldn't
watching
be
that in the arena, I'm gonna lose my mind.
always been oh!
Dude, aim-wise, Navi's shooting back, but they're just not ready for the util that's flying in on the executes.
They needed that. Koala only on that stinger.
The thing is like the Vice util actually isn't getting as much value as it needs to be. Right? And part of that is the fact that a Yoru exists, but
Looking to make some progress potentially towards 8. Spike trailing behind a little bit.
yeah, no, Boaster looks very comfy with his aim right now, which is good. Huge.
I mean,
maybe question mark in the smoke, but you know what I mean. Maybe someone's still there a little bit deeper, but they've got good info on this. Yeah, they will set up as well towards heaven.
I was going to say, it's heads up from Navi to just sit back here. They can wait on the util. Wait for an indication from Fnatic.
And again, you isolate Kayak with this. You're going to use that Vice utility to just deny the support system. And he
Ooh.
reads it. Hero reads it so well. Taking away Chronicle and Crashies. The timing, does he get it? No, Shao, sharp again.
Yeah, see, if they can delay long enough, then their hold is really good. Like, if it comes down to aim duels, Navi's gonna win out, actually, by the way it looks. But it's when Fnatic's able to group up and just util dump in and overwhelm a site.
Hold on. Oh,
That's when Navi's kind of struggling with having a couple people still left on the site, and do we play retake, do we play flood, and whatnot.
Pick this time around going in favor of Na'Vi. Again, not overstepping the mark too much. Confirmation of further presence behind.
Surely
the
it's not
operator.
ideal on attack smokes. You mean holding an op?
Kind of funny that
On an
these have a
Astra, I
role
think
that
it's
they went
okay to
back
be in the map.
45
You're
against
also
so
not the
many good
only
players who'd wanna
controller.
kind of
So-
swing back the round. The rule was that, you know, don't go for it solo.
So you
Like,
can
don't
you
go
can
for that
set up
solo
your
play
stars and
against
still,
Boaster, who's
you know, be
breaking his
focusing on
own
your scope.
rules.
Quickly activate, bring it back.
oh, Fnatic getting absolutely rinsed.
Again, it's not your go-to every time, but if you need someone to be going in, diving
I
in,
mean, it's good to see
then
that
I think the
confidence.
Astra holding it is
A new look for
a good
Boaster.
alternative.
Confidence. Oh, guy, hold on. And Koala Noob.
Dude, Koala Noob is going full aggressive, full trust that B main is going to push out confidently, but everybody loses it.
And he's on a heater now.
Dude, they gotta get rid of the twos, man. It just sounds like something.
So they can just pause for a second here.
It sounds like some like a
Formation, so
wind up
a lot of questions left
like
now for Hero
like
Shao, but
music box, like slowly unwinding.
Crashies walking wounded. Maybe some hesitation. Chronicle's still over towards A side, or down towards Suez at least.
Fnatic, again, just expecting Navi to react. They know that every single time in these kind of mid-round situations...
Waiting for the re-clearance, yeah.
exactly.
Which is coming.
It's there. Just a second away.
This is an awkward situation though, because Crash is going to be left solo with the spike. If he's caught on and actually Kayak can't confirm anything.
But even that lack of seeing anyone does feel a little indicative. Oh, the damage though. Crash is now joining.
Chronicles timing. Okay, doesn't matter. Dude, where are all the Crashies downers now, by the way? He's looking pretty solid today.
It's a weird cross now. They've got to wait for
One
it to
tournament,
come
everyone's like,
apply some
Crashies
pressure.
washed, Fnatic washed.
To do that, yeah.
Feels on a knife's edge, even though it is a 1v3. Shao so capable in this.
Crashies is just on the dirty work roll for Fnatic. I mean,
it's just the wrong place.
but he's-
Oh, but that's a shot. Shao
Whoa.
now. Look at the HP. It is so
Yeah,
dope.
full
It's got
health.
ICs. Looks like there's a pop flash in hand. Swing.
Oh, dude,
Crashies is gorgeous.
dude, Navi is getting wrecked by the flash from that exact position behind the
That
pillar.
aggression for Navi couldn't have gone better.
No?
but Crashies
Dude.
It's just Crashies. The response from him was amazing. If Crashies and Boaster are looking like this, it's a scary prospect.
I mean, dude, it started off so well. The thing is they wanted to finish the round here, but if you wanted to do that, you should have sent all 5 people in. In retrospect, that is, like, you got 2 kills, you should have just backed off.
Nothing for Xiao to do. Yeah, so
I'm going to doubt Crash until he wins champs just because of who else is. Well, if you're talking about Leo, but Leo can't play right now. I mean, it's not like he like pushed Leo out of the spot. I still don't think that deserves doubting. I think you just respect Leo.
Nothing punished him in the end, so just slowed down a little on the way forward. And I'm looking at the position from Rootsy. Maybe he gets away with daylight robbery, but no. This is difficult going forward.
Every time energy drops a player seeing they aren't diligent, not sufficient, they immediately go on to prove themselves again. Dude, the Verno narrative is great. I can't wait for the Verno energy rematch.
Send in Kron. Fnatic in the in zone flawless, looking stunning.
He's the IGL, but also just a chill guy.
Push and pull we're seeing here. Both teams understanding really, really well, but it's Fnatic to come out on top.
I mean, I honestly think if Leo ever comes back, holding Leo to Leo standards is unfair. It's like the same as saying, yeah, but Genji used to have Meteor. And it's like, I mean, yeah, you're not wrong, but it's also like, we got to get over it at some point. Everybody's got to get over it at some point, right? Especially Solo and Perry and HSK. They have to get over it at some point. I don't think anyone's arguing that Leo isn't better, but it's like this isn't a choice, you know? Leo's unable to play. I think it's a bad narrative to be like, yeah, but Leo's better. It's like, yeah, but he like literally just can't play. You know what I mean? Like I think separately like missing Leo is okay, but I think at this point, like always still comparing it to Leo or like saying I miss Leo whenever Fnatic loses, I think is unfair to both Leo and everybody else, because that also just builds up this narrative that like Leo's just gonna fix everything, and I mean we don't know that. Like he might take some time to come back and the meta's shifted and whatnot, you know. I think missing Leo just has to be a whole separate conversation, which I miss watching Leo play, like I do. But that is now, it has no relation to Fnatic anymore. You know what I mean? 나비가 못하는 건지 푸나틱이 잘하는 건지 알 수가. 나비가 조금 방향성을 못 잡고 있는 것도 있고요. 푸나틱은 근데 확실히 지금 되게 자신감 있게 하고 있는 건 맞아요. 에임도 많이 올라왔고. Yeah, so I don't think Navi is necessarily playing bad. I just think they couldn't really figure out like how they wanted to get through things. It looks like the flowchart was a little off. But Navi or Fnatic was playing very confidently, so that's good.
It's not got that explosive double duelist. It's not
oh, it's the hand clappers, not the tubes.
Defensive-sided composition. Even then, I think it struggles. So I don't have explosivity.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, that's one way to do it. One of them was able to take the TP out of there and get to safety. The other's not so long.
Oh, the timing.
This is getting completely messy.
Oh, no.
Ends up in a different dimension to the rest of Navi.
My point is doubting how much Crash he's going to affect Fnatic. No, I think that's fine, and I think the initial like gut reaction to that is okay. But again, I think it's the same as Meteor. If you're expecting a one-to-one comparison, yes, he's always going to be weaker. But the team has to, and the team and the fans, in my opinion, especially again, because unlike Meteor, this was a we can't be helped situation, is like they shouldn't be playing in a way where somebody has to have the same impact as Leo can to have the same victory, right? You got to figure out a slightly different style and whatever else it might be.
Something I did want to mention is that Fnatic, last time they played,
in which case I trust Crashies to have enough flexibility on that sense, and I think him being flexible enough to adapt, you know, allow for that also is really, really invaluable. I really do think so.
And so I'm not as afraid about their defense this time around.
And that was against BBL.
It was against BBL, yes.
So again,
then against this exact comp, the Fnatic player.
Yeah, Solo does share that opinion, and that's why they lost. That's why they lost to Boom. And that's why they didn't do so hot at kickoff.
Comfort for Crashies. Those two players trying to work their way up. You need a little bit of silver lining here
Like, I get it. No, I get it, especially as like if you're a Fnatic fan or especially a Leo fan. Like, I mean, listen, trust me. Like, I miss watching Leo play, but I think like this wasn't even like a, you know, they like fumbled the ball or whatever on like a contract. It's just like he just can't play, and it's like then being like, well, they're just not gonna have the same impact. I think the first 3 months of Leo sitting out is fine, right? Because you're probably, no one thought it would be this long, right?
Yeah, he is absolutely at 15 kills and 3
But at a certain point, I think it's just unfair to everyone, right? And I think it just builds a bad narrative because it's like nobody's gonna do the same thing in the same exact way. You just can't. He was just that good.
We'll see now. Navi can actually, yeah, Koala with a judge coming into this.
Maybe the fast satchels.
Oh, I agree. I agree that Rians and Trex individually have a very similar skill set. And I think Rians can grow into more for sure. And I think because so much time has passed, it's going to be hard to do a one-to-one comparison unless, you know, Leo comes back and is able to, you know, has some time to readapt.
Yeah, Chronicle well handled on his part for sure. And conceding that expected space up towards Vents. Big gap towards Mayo here, but seeing Chronicle now come to pick up the slack. Which is
The man's been sick for like a year. He's going to be different. Yeah, I mean, you know, we've heard that he still like plays a lot and whatnot, so that's good. But I mean, it's just first of all, hopefully he has a clean recovery.
Nice try, mate.
For those who don't know, it's like long COVID, so it's basically just haunting him nonstop.
Shao drifting away from middle, and Angel not really making much progress. This could be called off pretty quick.
I mean, at this point, hold on to the rifles. Seconds left.
Pretty sure this is kind of over.
Really send anybody out on a fact.
Navi needed to play attack like super slow with 2 orb smokes.
11.
You know, inching forward bit by bit, getting information.
650, so a chance to maybe invest something back into this, but it's one of those awkward rounds where it basically leads Fnatic to 12 in terms of expected outcomes, at least.
I love EMEA initiators. Shame we have none of the other roles. I mean, I don't think that's fair. EMEA has a couple good duelists.
Yeah, this
World class, you might even say. But I guess duelist every region now has. Actually, yeah, now like every region has like duelist you can probably put on the international stage. I guess that's where you have probably the best parity.
Again, he's playing deep enough there that he's
no, Crashies and Boaster they look crispy and they look confident.
So mitigating that risk perfectly, yeah.
Make that noise.
That's pretty close, right, Minnie?
That's good.
No, it's your turn now.
No.
Oh, he's still pretending to be serious.
I can pretend.
Does Navi not have an assistant coach?
3 of them are absolutely loving it. Do you miss being there, Minnie?
No, not really.
It's so funny because I don't think assistant coaches automatically give you wins, but it is one of those things where like if you're one of the few teams that doesn't have an assistant coach, then it does. Right, you do have to wonder, like, I mean, surely it helps.
I think I like to.
They just signed one. Gotcha.
You know when you
Welcome,
like
Swoosh.
Yeah.
Like that was just like a stressful kind of moment, but for some reason my arms in the air.
Right.
Yeah, I need one of those mosh pit. You know, the mosh pit stressful. Yeah. I'd look less ridiculous. I think slightly less ridiculous.
Is it possible to move the Nongshim logo a little to the right?
Fair enough.
Champs was.
What is it covering? I'm pretty sure I can't because I'm pretty sure a couple of the my sponsor logos then potentially run into the Valorant. Yeah, the size of logo I think breaks into that gray box where the VCT sponsors are, and you can't cover that space.
Again, Angel's quiet, Hero's quiet, Rooksik's barely there, Shao's barely there. You know what I mean? It just feels like they're being outdone here.
Watch out for this outlaw because there's only 2 players with 4.
If anyone else has any other suggestions on where to put it, you know what? Actually, you know where I could put it is I could put it right above Koala Noob's name, where my camera is. I don't know if that's better for a viewing experience though.
Does he get time to back away now with the wall up?
Like opposite of where mirrored to where my camera is.
Already, Kayak greeted on the other side, but
I can move it around. I just can't resize it.
These steps, even just to get
And I
towards
tried putting it
heaven,
above
seem
my
really
camera,
hard.
like when I was testing it on my own, but then it just like covers the kill feed,
Doing a lot of this
and I think that
pressure
sometimes
coming his
is
way.
important.
Now, deep smoke comes in. He's going to commit towards that CT side, but there's still bodies here. They should know about maybe Alpha.
It would
because of
only
that
block
main shot
map
coming in,
locations,
but
and that's okay.
they've got a
Yeah.
lot to undo on A.
yeah, Alpha
Maybe we
Crash
try
is
that.
tucked into a crossfire here.
Let me see if I can
Alpha got to run the gauntlet.
Yeah, walking into the blender almost.
test
Here
it
we
right
go.
now.
Powerway should remove one. Koala removes the other. Crashies back out of it. He can't deal with Shao.
Okay.
But
Uh-oh.
Skyak still
Well.
there on the side. He just slips forward. There's so many bodies here. Expecting
Oh,
the push up.
Shao getting
No.
out of it. That's
Shao
good.
slips into the smoke and he controls the site. Spike not in hand. Need to wait a moment here to get some of this simmering down, and the plant should be up next.
Boaster trying to get something done here. Shao's got to be careful. 56 HP playing just outside this smoke.
How's this? Is this better, chat?
Yeah, he does.
I don't know if it's better. You guys tell me though, because this is a viewer experience thing, viewer POV thing.
Set up together, but now
It does jut into the middle of the screen though, right?
spots him out. Waiting on the rest now. Boaster! Beautiful from him, takes
Slips
away
away
Hero.
as well.
And they know it was Shao, still on the site. They're going to know he's by pillow. He's playing Ring a Rosie. They might not be up for these sort of games, but he's going to try and play to the timing. Play to this, see if he can do the blocks, try to help him
Oh,
back.
no
It's a nice
time.
try, but ice ain't good enough. Kron can clear, but the time is gone.
It is better. It's slightly better. All right, we'll keep it here for now. If we can think of other ideas.
12 on the board with the Red Bull clutch here.
Yeah, Fnatic had the perfect set.
The other option I tried was I can put it where the ammo is, but then, you know, in the rare cases where it's like, you know, 6 bullets left, 5 bullets left, like you wouldn't see that. So if I put it above the bullets, it floats quite a bit. I can test it for you guys. It's not
I
hard.
would say is that in the 5v4, I'm fine with what they did, but I want to see that react.
Oh, and then yeah, if I put it there, every time this comes up, it would cover it, right? That's the other problem. Is every time the every time the loadouts come out, it would cover it up.
Oh yeah. There's a little bit of a look towards the main. Sees nothing but NAVI. Focusing towards middle, or at least showing presence here.
On guard here.
My eyes kind of gravitate to it. Just yeah, that was my original reason I put it at the top, but I assume the people who are asking if I can change it are asking because it's like right next to the other team name, and so therefore you kind of get confused every now and then. YouTube saying the last position was better. Put it on your forehead.
You can also see the turn as well from Alpha.
Yeah.
Now mostly focused towards that vent push up. Same as we said with Crashies, maybe trying to create that nice little crossfire here.
All right,
So
chat.
far for
This
now,
is
they've
this is
mostly
what we
managed
can
to
do.
get, I guess, Roots towards those vents. Still maybe looking towards that mailroom push up. It's Hero.
How's this?
Trying to lead the way.
You guys-
Flash is there, denied. They go back.
All right, everybody got to hit their headshots now.
They look as if they want to end towards it.
Oh, this is
Alpha's in a really tricky position.
What a conundrum for him.
There you go.
Alpha trying to look one way, trying to deal with the other. You're going to see the ult coming into effect here, but Crashies now has to try and pick up the pieces. They're already trying to cross towards the side. Crashies.
It seems like we're a little split, so I'll just keep it in the original for now because I think we're used to that. But
Kayak can't go on your own now.
let me let me zoom in and see if I can move it ever so slightly to the right.
I'm going to go up, going to seal the deal for Fnatic. Sorry, for NAVI for the time being here. For the
No
3v3.
big util here for Fnatic to retake with. They're going to have to win some duels.
See, Shao's sharp, already still looking up towards that ramp, but it's a flood back through from CT. Ruxic respects it, slips back a little deeper, tag towards
Oh
Monster, but it's
no,
answered
dude,
back.
they're getting
Hold on,
dude,
it's
they're getting
all
crossfired
Ruxic
so
with the
hard.
1v2, he can't handle it! And they took the duels and they won them!
All three members of Fnatic forced through that smoke, but able to win out with those first 2 kills. Beautifully done. They said Ruxic actually coming out worse off with that kind of weird engagement between Boaster.
The Nung shouldn't cross there.
And I like that start. It looked like Navi had got that timing right on that crunch, clearing up.
No,
that
Kayak's
Shao
flashes have been
completely
really good.
flashes.
It would be great if we could have a stat like that, right? Of like how many times he's full blinded somebody, because
I don't know if you guys noticed it, but they were using the fade to re-clear the A. But by the time they did, Navi crossed middle.
can you
It was
move
like
the
Navi was one
game,
step
please?
ahead the
It's
entire
distracting me
time.
from the
They came
logo.
down to
Maybe adding a opacity box. Yeah, I mean, that would make the spots. Yeah, maybe that makes it actually cleaner because it's not so messy. Yeah.
And they're just going into it. It looks like, you know, head first for Halos as Poster looks caught off guard. Maybe unexpecting this sort of tempo, this pressure coming in. Guadalupe's going to clear him. So they've got a corner on the side, but it ain't much. It ain't pretty. What are we up to?
What?
Oh, it's working! That shouldn't be working! Chronicle and Crashies.
Oh,
Last jump against Angel
no.
and Hero. No plant yet.
Not like
Above a minute.
this.
Prowler's caught. I think he's given away maybe both of them. C's there as well.
Not like
Crashies.
this.
His util just does not miss.
GG.
And does Chronicle Fnatic with a absolutely brilliant first map here. 13-5. That was quick as anything.
Yeah, putting on a clinic and looking
Do you think
much
picking
more
up
confident in
BBOS
terms of the
is it
overall
Scud
approach in terms of the confidence
as
levels?
an analyst
Sort of
benefits
composure
Fnatic?
from Fnatic
Yeah, I
is
think
definitely a
so.
big positive here on
I think
that
it
one.
does. Especially,
Compositionally, I wasn't too impressed with
damn.
how
Okay,
Crashies is
Boaster.
the very
Just because I think in the current meta you want to be as flexible as possible. So even if you're not always using his ideas, the fact that you can converse with him about ideas and analyze, have another person analyze other people, other people's comps as well.
I want to slide in it. This is no good. I'm a drown in it. You want to slide in it?
I'm gonna bounce him.
Baby, are you down, 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 down,
They're back. Poster's back. Make it a bit smaller. That's not how sponsorships work, chat. I can't just resize it. I can move it wherever I want, but I can't resize it. But chat, here's the payoff basically. I was like I spent a lot of time trying to figure out where it would be best, and for now this was what I selected, and I think it works for the most part. But I agree, right? It's like, oh, like the sponsor's in the way, or it's like distracting from the game a little bit. But it's also like it's either that or I only co-stream for a month and I decide it's not worth it because I can't make any money off of it. Not that I'm making a lot of money, but at least it's like minorly sustainable. Can you remove your cam so I can watch the sponsors? No, it's gonna be different for everyone. Personally, when I was testing it, I was getting distracted by it too, and like obviously I'm the guy getting paid by Dongshim, so I'm like, huh. But I think this is one of the. I think basically from here on out, like whether it's above the other side, like where my camera is, where we were testing it, whether it's on the other side next to the map right now, like mirrored at the top, I think it's all just kind of subjective at this point. So we can test it again in the future, but. Seems like you fixed the extremely sharp cam. I didn't do anything with it other than just like force it to autofocus a couple more times, but I'm glad it got fixed. The strat is to make your gameplay 4x3 so you can have black bars either side and run the sponsors and face cam down the sides. We'll continue to tweak it as we go. What if I just made it so it's like that Windows logo screensaver? And it just keeps floating. Never hits a corner. Throughout the match. Just bouncing around the screen. But the best course of action if it does distract is have a green screen and put the logo beside you. You mean like just barely above my head? But then it would still cover the kill feed though. Because I can't resize it. So it would still bleed out of my camera. Oh yeah, the DVD logo, that's what it is. Unless I'm misunderstanding the suggestion from YouTube. I assume what you're saying, if we can test it right now, I assume what you're saying is like I can have a green screen and like put it like this. I mean, I guess I don't move much during watch parties, but it would always have to be above, though, right? I can't ever cover it, even with a green screen. So, I mean, obviously I can like walk past it like for a split second, but on your side more like, so you can still have Valo on the background? Huh? Oh, that is true. I can resize it, but I can only make it bigger. That is true. I guess I'm not understanding what you're saying. On the side? I can't make it smaller. If you're assuming I can make it smaller and put it next to my head, I can't do that. Which is where the limitation comes in. For now, we'll just keep it where it is, because I'm looking at it right now on my OBS, putting it above or on the other side next to the map, and that has issues as well because the Nongshim logo kind of bleeds into the minimap, so sometimes you might miss like people lurking and stuff. Make it bigger and cover the player again. Use the green screen and have the logo as the background. But that's my point, is that I would be covering some of the sponsors, and you can't do that, right? I think I'm like not understanding. I must not watch enough streams, because I think the people who are suggesting it all seem to be suggesting the same thing, and you guys must know exactly what it looks like, and I just have no clue. Oh, you guys can't. We're back at the desk. I can bring up the audio.
And also,
Dude, 210 ADR, not as Silva? Crashies is so back.
That is the biggest compliment you could ever get.
Absolutely. And also put it into context. All the performances that we've had, no shade, but a little bit of shade. From
Make it so big that you're between the sponsors and kiss them. Whatever they do that. Now we're cooking.
Yeah, floor though, you know, floor. Floor
but
number
she doesn't
one.
count as an import.
Yeah, floor number. Yeah, true. This is a very nice map here from Crashies, but the question is, can he keep it up as we move over to the Fracture? And also, what is NAVI going to bring on Fracture? Because Billy, they wanted to go here.
Yeah, no, I appreciate people looking into it with me. But hopefully that also convinces you that I do care about it, and I will try if we can find other alternatives. The problem, I do have a small green screen, like just big enough for like one person, but I can't set it up right now with the way that I'm flushed against the wall, so that's the other issue.
They did win against Fnatic in kickoff, and thinking about Abyss being gone, it's the
But
only
all good,
map that
all good,
they
all good.
actually won from the ones that are remaining.
No one was complaining. People were just wondering.
And what we're mentioning, Fnatic were the only ones in the entirety of EMEA that were running either the Soba or the Chamber in this map. Are they going to keep playing on that? Because I assume that Navi's plan works around that, works around knowing what they played previously and how they already knew how to counter.
I would like them to just yoink the good things we've seen from other regions. It's about time, you know. I know you're Fnatic. I know you feel how we can do our own thing. But yeah,
Or I'm gonna put the camera. What was that suggestion the other day? Someone said I should just put my camera above on the player cams, just cover the player cams, and then put the sponsors where I'm at right now.
I liked Alpha on the Chamber last time. He was able to kind of get those first engagements and then escape out. I mean, maybe against Navi's composition it didn't work out in the way in which they intended, but I like Alpha on Chamber.
That would be funny.
I think there are other things
I should just put, you know, no, we should test that. I should just put my camera at like 40% opacity above the, like on top of the player cams.
During kickoff, they won 7-8 pistols.
Oh my goodness! We have Crashies on tail. Well, this is
Crashies tail, kayak neon.
Yes,
Alpha air back to the Cypher. Damn. They might be cooking.
He was so great on this agent on Apex last year, at Ascension last year. He can absolutely dominate on that agent. So I'm happy with this.
I am very happy with seeing the Tejo. I want to see how they comp things. I love to see the Sova gone, and actually I'm loving to see this new art for Crashies.
This is what we wanted, right? We wanted someone like Crash.
I mean, he got what 210 ADR with no damaging abilities. Dude's about to go crazy.
I assume they watched Bangkok.
He's about to get like 400 ADR, man.
Billy, a very, very good Neon play. But what about Navi's comp?
I mean, it worked out for them in the past, so they've obviously decided to stick with what they want, but it's easy counterable.
It's got to work here, and I can't wait to hear.
Yeah, no, Neon's still really good.
Coach Mini,
I think people just kind of got scared because it was a nerf.
Oh,
but
nice of you to join us, Coach Mini. But yes, they have met here before, of course. This was the one that Navi bested Fnatic on 13-8. Now, Navi, not too many differences. Same comp. Fnatic, though. Well, that's a difference.
I was going to say, this isn't the Fnatic they met before.
No, exactly.
This is literally a completely...
why did Killjoy die on Fracture?
Yeah, I love this composition for Fnatic. This is the first time we're seeing the Teo.
I mean, obviously, a big part was Teo, but even before that, people were slowly going into Cypher because of the neons. So Cypher is much better at delaying the neons and whatnot. Also getting global intel when you're on the attacking side, right?
That Coach Mini style.
What Killjoy had us above Cypher is obviously the ult, but yeah, and then Vice as well, yeah.
That was both.
Because like Vice can also have hard delay plus like mollies and things like that. I don't think Killjoy's bad on Fracture. I just think if you can learn to play with Cypher or Vice, it's just a little bit better.
Fracture stuff that we saw from Fnatic was just boasted in server time.
Well, to be honest, Anders helps us a lot.
It was somebody else as well, yeah.
Dude, nobody has faith in Navi.
Yeah, bloody hell.
Chat.
But he's got.
That's crazy.
Like, if we were ever doing an exec, I wouldn't pick where everything went.
Yeah.
He'd figure it out.
Wow, I've got something fun to tell you guys.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is like, you're never going to pick an agent just for the ult, right? Especially after the ult also got expensive. It's like, you're never really, at best, you're using it twice and a half. And
it's definitely not red out.
it's not a guarantee.
Because it hasn't started yet. It's like a 3-minute thing. We could keep yapping. Production will hate me for this.
A pre-tech pause.
It is. I was making sure it didn't say anything.
Hi, Twitch Denji.
Okay. We were on very different wavelengths for that. Usually I'm with you on weird stuff like that.
It's been a minute, alright? It's been a minute. Oh, hold on. I'm getting standby. What are we getting standby for? What we got? You gonna push back on camera?
Isn't Shao one of the best fades in the world?
Alberto?
Yeah, but it's probably a bigger question of...
He doesn't trust me. He doesn't trust me.
It's not so much the fade that might be the problem. It's whatever else. It's also just probably for IGLing purposes. Shao's good on whatever, to be honest.
Of course, if you put Pansy high,
we're gonna be right back. Dude, EMEA, man. Listen, I am just gonna say though, like I don't mean to harp on it, but EMEA and Americas, you guys are using the same studio for 2.5 years now.
During kickoff, even though Fnatic did not have,
like everyone likes to meme about the legendary 5-hour tech pause, 7-hour tech pause from Pacific, but aside from that, the frequency of tech pauses in Pacific is not nearly as bad. And we've switched venues every year.
They managed to convert the second one. And
like if you're using your studio that you own,
if they were able to convert the first two. So into this one, it was something that
I'm just saying the excuses are much less.
Going to have the same kind of push that Navi actually had last year with those bonuses.
Hey, are you gonna watch all the EMEA and Americas matches today? No, I gotta get some sleep because I'm gonna be at the venue tomorrow for the Pacific matches. I'll be co-streaming from the arena, so I want to be in tip-top shape because I gotta outshout the T1 fans at the arena and then get mobbed. So probably, most likely, we will only watch this match. But if it's a quick 2-0, maybe we watch the next one.
And you've always been a strong team on Fracture, you know, like you think you know this map to a T. There is things that are going to be surprising to you, and there is one thing that they can always rely on if you're Fnatic, and it's the retakes. And on Fracture, I think is the perfect example of it.
Pacific Split 2 finals is going to be in Tokyo too. Dude, that's going to be so hype. I hope. I mean, the thing is, even if they get better, I don't know if a Japanese team is going to be in the final weekend, like in the top 4.
I think maybe the nerves, you know, it's not easy to go up against your
But when we do break on APAC, we break hard. I mean, that one time. It was the one time.
And I want to see him regain that confidence again, because Billy, there's a reason why people kind of raised their eyebrows at Fnatic when they didn't decide to keep him after champs.
Yeah, exactly. Hero is a really, really talented player, and I think
that hand thing that Boaster has, I didn't see it. I didn't catch it.
Nerves there. He's going to be anxious about it, and I think that the Vise is something.
No, I'm all for showing more brutal stats. We got to stop we got to stop glazing. All right, analysts should throw some fire out there.
I would expect him to be able to,
like, call them out. A player struggling, call them out. Now, don't do them dirty, right? Don't be like they suck, right? If you think it's a comms thing or if it's a comp thing, right? Like, for instance, like Suggest has a rough time on Aven. I think you call it out, but I think you also, or on Ascent, but you also note that because of the opponent composition, like he was on an island the whole time, and you know, he was just getting bombarded. Like, I think you should put that into context, but you should call it out.
The breeds that he's going to be tested, and he's going to be put in a situation where he's not comfortable, but that's
only show negative things for Nongshim Red Force. I'd put up Domby's stats up there. Say it's negative, but he's creating space. I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
50,000 things going on his side, and he's just sitting on a cam, you know.
Oh, was he using his like his basically what do you call those? Like the grip like machines? I used to have one.
Let's talk about Navi's real quick, because we didn't really get that much time to, because we do have a Koala moving over to the Rays here once again. We've got Angel on the Fade, which on Split there was unfortunately
Energy Phoenix Strat's coming up with Brent. If you got permission, he will do anything.
Probably his Fade in maps that have been historically very good.
Yeah, and if anyone in Twitch chat as well knows, apparently Boaster had it, but basically those like that like grip, like exercise thing.
I want to see how they interact with each other. Also speaking about
whatever it's called.
And that fat finger that we saw from Koala and those kind of things are very unlucky, especially when you
think Kayak's gonna destroy this one?
The size of
I mean, he is on the neon.
On everybody.
Hand grip?
Like,
is it just a hand grip?
Coming through from Navi because they got knocked out in that lower round 1 by Fnatic.
I still want to see the angry Angel. Where is the angry Angel?
Well, maybe that's why Hero
is the angry
Angel? Because Angel is angry.
He's so angry.
No. Like
I think you might
let me bring up another window.
In the fashion, because again,
if I can Google it, maybe that'll just bring up the answer.
They did not play that bad on Split at all. I really don't think Navi played bad.
I don't think that they played terribly. I think that there was just things that they could have found more value from, like the Vice, like I say. I want to see Koala Noob on the op during this map. I think
it's just strength training.
Really get to play it an awful lot during Split, and we know that he's comfortable, he's confident on the op. So I want to see more of that from him. I don't want to see Navi wasting utility in the way that they were doing on Split.
Was it one of these? Was it stuff like this?
So much. I want them to be more
why is my window stuck?
And actually figure out what spaces of the map they're looking to take, instead of just throwing whatever they can towards Fnatic.
I think that the calmness that we
the one I had was actually this was way back in the day, was like it had like individual springs for each finger.
To the Euro and whatnot, and not having the full information with the
Goldspike, I don't know if this was what he had, but these are pretty common.
We've said it so in every single year. We tell you every game.
Yeah, there's these two. Just grip strengtheners, it looks like. Oh no, he has a. Oh, what the? Wait, that's what is that?
And I think that the nerves are. So.
Is that a grip strengthener?
Every single. There's going to be a bunch of teams making.
That's an interesting one. Yeah, it's like a knuckle something. Knuckle duster with a band around the palm, all made of equal diameter rubber tube. Dude, that's interesting. What is that?
And God knows how many times they played against each other on Split and Fracture as well. This is just a simulator at this point. But I do want to see Angel maybe.
I'm fairly certain it's just a fidget toy to keep the hands warm.
We speak about Fnatic changing the composition. We also speak about Navi peeking onto this map. Yes, they did win it against Fnatic during that kickoff. That
Yo,
conversation was different.
Paradox.
What changes are they going to implement? Because things
Yo,
change
do
a
take care.
lot
Found it.
between having a
Ooh.
breach and a
Oh, yeah?
or having a Soba and a chamber. Like you're hunting
Physical
allies
therapy.
is going to be
Dude,
literally
this
out
thing
of
is
I would love to
crazy
know as well
looking.
if this is an implementation from Scott that's just come across, right? Because we saw BBL's Icebox comp. I want to know if that was Scott before he left.
What
so
the?
yeah, I want to know like what's going on in the coach and staff's mind and why they decided to put this together.
Well, I can't give you any answers from Scott, but I can give you some
Oh,
answers
so it
from
has like
Vinny.
a
So why don't
stress
you take
ball
that
as
question,
well. Interesting.
I'll be honest, Yinzu, I wasn't listening.
I was listening.
You
were?
were?
Shouldn't have outed yourself like that.
I was
giving you a
talking.
bailout.
I was talking to production. Production
Yeah,
was going to
right,
go in a minute.
you guys
Take,
were- alright,
take it
you
away.
guys,
Take it
what
away.
about you?
Do I think it's from Scott? To me, I think
What's
it
from
is
Scott? Give me some context.
obvious that like Breach
Help
and
me.
Tear are the best on Fracture right now. I think
Right.
it's just the best two to have. The Neon I'm interested by. I think Neon's a little bit underrated right now. I think like Mini Boo, etc.
Agreed,
Really good.
Mini.
Neon person's
Calling
still
out
very strong.
everybody. Neon is a little
Slightly underrated
underrated.
generally, but I think it's absolutely fine here.
Okay.
So
How do
yeah.
you feel about it, Mike? You know, an idea from Scott?
Probably.
I'm gonna be real honest, Void Rays. I feel like
Agreed.
I am now part of the problem
Pace it,
with
no
brain rot,
surprises
but
to
I
see it
can't
kicked
remember
into
what it
Fnatic.
was called.
No secrets about it on the way
But
in,
the link
actually.
is in chat,
But
so
yeah, he's gotta be careful, he's gonna have his
Tron
hands
put the
full.
link in chat,
Crashies.
so you can scroll up and find it.
Pretty swift here. Plan's going to be in. That was a crystal clear plan, really. Na'Vi, once again, going to be having to be forced to play back through,
Squishy
but
Ball with
players
Brass
looking back
Knuckles
from
was
Dish
not
could
what it
cause
was
difference.
called. Yeah, no, that's pretty unique.
Pressure point though for Na'Vi to find because Fnatic have drifted all the way away from this.
Welcome back, Kami.
Yeah, the plan's extremely good for them in the post too.
I wish they would not zoom in as
Okay, he
often.
gets removed by Rooks.
I wonder
This
if
is still
Mini's
game on
doing that.
here.
I wonder if he's kind of like the
Toy
telestrator, man. I'm not sure.
for their expectations towards the door, but the smoke's in play here. They're going to have to be a little bit careful with this one. Na'Vi have got their foot certainly in on the door, but the time is running exceptionally
yeah.
low. I think this is too late in
Yeah,
the day.
what the-
Fnatic simply just listening to the clock
Dude, what-
tick away. Crashy's farming it up. Beautiful thing.
Dude,
And they're
Crashies
happy
is killing it. I'm so glad. I'm so
like,
glad.
getting that open plant meant that Na'Vi were probably not ever going to win that return.
The fact that Neon is
They
still
had
usable
one
after
good
nerfs
shot,
shows
the
how
body,
broken she was when
and
down being
And if
abused.
they did, they needed to move in the first 15 seconds.
I mean,
pressure that utility out, draw something out.
you know, same goes for all the Jet one tricks out there.
Was it Chronicle and Crashies disconnect so far from that?
What the? What's
We've
going
just stopped muting them
Yeah,
now.
we've just started.
Wild stuff.
Lyrically, anybody in EBS knew what we were listening to earlier, but
Dude, why? How are they letting that through?
Yeah, can we get that on the replay at the end of the day, please, guys?
that one's going on the soundboard.
That
for sure.
it's a classic. It is going to be thoroughly utilized here. Beyond that, though, again, this round should be pretty much.
Dude, I might want to look into that.
clean and
Grip Strength
maximizing
Trainer
potential.
Stress
Again, more
Ball?
orbs are plenty.
Seems like it would just be good for a multitude of things. Like it has the Stress Ball.
towards B, but doesn't come through. Again, fortunately, it's going to be Hero
Boaster
towards
is like
this.
the
He's gonna have
most
his hands full.
non-brain rotted person that I've seen. Does that make sense?
Shot, but yeah, dealt with swiftly.
Na'Vi are here in time though.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're here.
Shout
Shouts
out.
got a kill. Okay. Boaster got two back. All right, this. It had an element of danger for a moment. The problem is that now they're held back by smokes in very traditional
When teams are losing to the
positions.
clock
They've
a
got lot
concerning
back
amount,
possibility of
Fnatic
causing
have more than a few
problems.
rounds where
Well,
they're planting.
against
The
three
thing
vandals,
is
it really
planting
shouldn't.
with 10 seconds left, it depends on the context.
see Angel actually.
And I think that isn't always objectively a bad
Down
thing.
to 20 HP though. Well, to even really pin anybody down, do some damage.
The
might just
Anakin's in
give this up.
another shot.
Might go
Actually,
after the spike
yeah,
and
I
feed
guess
across
so.
Any progress towards these ultimates, because that's the other thing to consider. Back into a Brimstone composition as well with Teo and Breach. The ultimates are just they're game changing.
This could be a Vandal pickup. Why do I feel this is going to go wrong?
Oh, Angel. Oh, he wants the gun so bad.
Did cost them a little bit, 'cause I don't. Yeah, I mean, I think Boaster can pick up a lot, some of the slack there, but they will lose out, I think, on one in the end. But
Yeah, I mean, if
still,
Crashes is over that side, he can obviously
can
upgrade,
upgrade
but yeah.
the end of the world.
Speaking
I
of
think- I
Fnatic,
wanna add on to what
has
Mike said about the
anyone
ults. I think that
ever
this map is
seen
probably the
Durka's
map where you have
butt?
the most amount of ult
The things he
theory,
Yes,
uses.
yes, yep.
even anti-ults, all that stuff, and I'm really excited to see what Fnatic have cooked. We know that they're kind of capable of bringing in those innovative ults.
This is from YouTube chat. I am reading out.
Play anywhere on site.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm just doing my job as a streamer and interacting with my chat, okay?
I mean, it's just so oppressive. Like, it's when those ultimates.
Well, there's one person in Twitch chat who agrees. So, listen, you're a little bit vindicated, Indy.
There's only ultimates in the first wave. Then you've got utility to deal
No
with.
comment. No, I haven't really looked at it.
So far, but he was very committed to. Koala Noob rewarded playing on top there. Going to take away Kayak, but you can see where that spike is. And as it stands, they have a completely full site. Now, obviously, they don't know that. And now it does look like Rooksik is turning around going, well, maybe there's a chance someone is walking this.
Yeah, no sound cue just yet, but I think Rooksik is also very conscious. Somebody could have lurked in.
Oh my
Big
gosh.
gap, obviously, towards drop. Smoke going down.
Same plant.
It's this open plant.
It's, yeah.
Even though it's
But see, now that there's more than one person saying it's big, doesn't it make you wonder how big is it?
I can imagine that should be in play by the time they're
It can't be that
2
big.
seconds away. So
Still
again,
got the molly as
how
well, though.
how do you move these players?
Oh, this
Because
is
you're
great. This
so
is great
much,
chat.
damaging so quickly.
To everyone wondering, how do you know? I was at Masters Bangkok. They interviewed him right in front of me.
Buys him a good chunk of time. Kron now, and again, his position is absolutely divine. And a real insurance policy, because Crashing will be under pressure now. But this man looks like he thrives in it now.
So, how is the how is that crazy international tournament, dude? I got front row seats to Dirk's butt.
Well handled by Navi, actually. It felt like Fnatic had the checkmate there.
Yeah, definitely. When we were crediting kind of the comfort
Oh
and how
my
safe that
gosh.
disconnected position was for Fnatic, but here it kind of just
I haven't.
apart.
No, you
Seems
can't just
really.
take
And one of the
pictures
key
of other
things there
people's
to note is
butts.
how late in the day this
You can't
come
do
across
that.
the window of
Don't
opportunity
admit to
becomes
that.
first
That's
kind of
not
10 to
good.
15 seconds,
That's
right?
where we draw
Either
the
in
line.
retake or as the spike is being planted.
I think the cycling from the post plant was slightly off. I think both should have been further away. Didn't have to use the molly so early. Save that for later. Let the salvos go in first. And I think the layering would have been better then.
No,
Yeah,
you
the
can't be
window
admitting.
after,
No, you
that's
can't
absolutely
be
full
doing
seconds,
that.
right? So
You can't just
they
take
can
pictures
stall
of
out a
other
little
people's
longer.
butts. That is
Pace
not
change here,
good.
Lauren.
Yeah,
That
they
is a
should be here.
violation.
Straight away going to use the tail to clear out the site and then just probably take sight off the back. But again, they still won't have sand. They're not going to have anything else here. A lot of the setup's still in play. But tap on the spike, no reaction yet. Boaster.
Smokes are going to drop. They've got to make use of it.
Yeah, they kind of got
They gotta push sand somehow.
Maybe pausing for a
Oh,
fight. They
Boaster's
want it.
just gonna
Okay,
frag him.
Rosic falls. Hero, though, going to pick up the battle. Takes it towards sand. And now we're in an all-out brawl. This feels a little bit out of sorts. A different plant this time.
It's a terrible few minutes watching the stream. And we're back in the game. We're back in there. We're locked in, chat. We're locked in.
Chronicle down to just 19 HP.
Dude, Hero went in further again? Why didn't he just group?
No semblance of safety just yet.
Or why didn't he wait for the main forces to go through?
It
was a 3v3.
Alpha to catch the cross up by Dish.
Clock ticking away though.
Oh, Shao.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
all about time now.
dude.
Shao gonna get past the
Dude,
plant.
Qualinu
They're
making
gonna
noise
run
there
out
pays
Crashes,
off.
But he's got the util. Can he play it perfectly? 11 HP. He can't make mistakes.
Oh,
Just not playing that.
Qualinu.
On the case.
Damn, dude.
Close.
And they send Shao
No
in.
cigar.
Steps right on the last burst because he
The
can still
timing as
take
well,
it.
Crash
Goes for the
really
defuse.
catching Just the perfect moment to swing onto this. But it's easy. This is the pace change round for Fnatic, and they can't pin down the plant in the window you expect them to on those first smokes going
Okay,
down.
okay.
when they have a little bit of
Just for
leeway
clarity, chat.
towards
There was
something.
no intentional
It
violation
seemed a
done.
little the
They
pause
just have a
seemed little
picture of
strange.
Durka, but they
Tap on
happen to be
spike, they're
sitting
expecting
behind
util
them.
to come
That's
through,
all it
somebody
was.
to burst from the smoke potentially. I'm not sure.
I think they were trying to pinch.
And that's where we'll stop the stop the
talking.
talking. That is cool though that you were sitting basically, you know,
I don't think they should be losing that post plant.
like somewhere in the front seats. I would assume either in the aisle or in the front. That's cool. How was it? How was the LAN experience at Bangkok?
These post plants, that's 2 rounds now. And this round should be pretty well handled. The equipment diff is in play. Rooksik actually only 1 away from ult. We're going to start seeing that cycle hit for Na'Vi now. Very close by to some big boy ults.
Navi only wins when we talk about Durkas. I gotta stop. I gotta stop getting baited by the chat here.
Alpha to creep up. Heroes fan Kayak on the other side though. Gonna be a massive swing, but we'll find a
Oof.
freebie onto Rooksik.
For being a little
Dude,
slippery.
free
Heroes
lurk
pretty-
kill.
Pretty uncomfortable now.
Okay, they know he's gone up into tower. Crashies, we know he's up in tower.
Heroes trying to just dip around this. As
Okay,
Qualinu
what
popped
the-
his ult again pretty early here. This feels like it wasn't necessary, but we are getting down to
Ooh.
the thick of things, this is a 2v3. It's certainly not impossible as
Oh!
And Chronicle out of nowhere.
Damn, dude. Chronicle peeks back out for that?
Angel on notice.
So goated.
Up towards tower.
Rolling Thunder available here as well. Plenty of utility for Chronicle to work with, but
No idea where he is at the moment. This could be a free first kill, and then Kron's HP gets brought into question. Can he play it ice cold? Can Angel read this right? The Horn gonna go in. He knows
You can't just, oh, you should have asked for something. Yeah, no, you can't just, especially not, like, if you're in the seats, it's hard to just go up to them. You have to, like, go to the fan events and stuff.
So he can burn the clock down here.
Chronicle doesn't even to look at the spike so far.
Aftershock.
Listens for the tap. Until
Okay.
is it good? It absolutely
Yep.
is.
I think Angel thought it wasn't going to come through.
And Chronicle doesn't even need to look at the spike.
I know it's like a really micro thing, but Chronicle just peeking before he uses any util wins him that. Like,
Absolutely.
if he used the Aftershock or the ult before he peeks,
Bingo.
he doesn't win that.
Because it's another 1.5, 2 seconds that Angel has to second guess
So
himself.
the free shot as well, just a bit of damage.
Beautifully done. All the tools they needed
Angel,
here.
are you drunk, bro? Angel, are you drunk, bro? Did you take a beer, bro, or what?
Oh my gosh. Angel, are you drunk, bro? Did you take a beer or what? Holy.
One that they probably shouldn't have had. I feel like we were kind of seeing Na'Vi building right back into this, dealing with those post plants well, trying to find solutions. And right now they're only finding problems. And Rooksik's got to fight forward.
Oh,
There's no way
dude,
back from
they are
that.
just, they're getting so out-utiled, man, on both these maps. Like, when it's just straight up 1v1 duels, they don't lose out, but they're just getting put into bad positions. This is just a story of just forced errors non-stop.
Revealed here, and actually might be caught on the backside, but Chronicle unable to pin him down before escaping.
Spike planted.
All right, Angel. 1v3
All right.
this time. The odds are worse. And not much to be done there for him. Fnatic starting to get a little bit of space now.
I think playing with that space really well. Again, another that's almost indicative of a pace change. Beautiful placement here on the fault line and the orbital strike. There's no escape from that, forcing out the kill once again.
It's also crashes
Nice.
again.
Nice shot,
Like he's
Alpha.
10 to
Nice
4.
fight.
I would argue that
Let's
sitting in
fight.
Aftershock. No, I'm not talking about the Aftershock.
Really, really well.
I'm just talking about generally.
No
Like, they're just getting
surprises to
pushed
see
out of
Na'Vi
positions
time
into
out
bad
here.
fights every single time.
Two back-to-back defuses, sure, but again, I think once Fnatic kind of got into that first ult cycle and having those tools available, they show what they do best, to be honest with you, which is it's that precision. The value on investment. It's not necessarily a kill or something, but it's always space garnered.
So then from Navi's perspective, what do you do here? Because
Do
it
I
felt like
want to
they
be
got an
clicking
answer
on
to those
this
post
link?
plants, right? They were digging out those positions, making crashes
Twitch
quite
Chat keeps trying to
uncomfortable,
bait me
even on
into
that 10-4,
going
but
into
since then it's still fallen
Durka's
away.
Twitter.
Where does your mind go? We do see a switch up with Koala Noob at the very least. Is that enough of a solution?
Just the op? Potentially. I would like to see them a bit more aggressive. We've only seen them rotate.
I'm gonna open it
sideways.
separately.
We haven't seen them explore like the north or south too much. Especially if those post plants keep coming in. Like, you need flanks to kind of deal with them sometimes. So I think a bit of north side or south side.
Well, you're vindicated
I
at
wanna see
least.
from Crashes here, do Fnatic have another
This
layer
was
to
from
stay with?
Durka
We've
this
already seen it once
February.
with a fast A.
My ass is so big in every pic I see of me. WTF. I did say you had a big ass. I thought you were trolling until Safe said it too.
How prepared a Fnatic here. They look
Guess
good
where
with the
Zan goes
composition that we
to.
like the idea of. For now, this is the adaptation.
I mean, I guess you guys, I guess you were right. I guess he has a big butt.
I was going to say is, I thought actually, 'cause they do force their way through. Koala rewarded. It's Alpha on the other side of that.
That's dreamy, but this man's confident. Crashes on the swing, and now suddenly Angel's uncomfortable. You can see it. Oh, Crashes with the little
Dude.
1-2 step, making it look so smooth.
Yeah,
here.
it's
Na'Vi
rough.
already left in tatters. What are you meant to do in this? You can see a little bit of a play coming in from Xiao. Slipping through early, but the trade in place. Kayak still holding up close towards sight. Maybe trying to get a little slippery in the smokes, but Na'Vi down to just 2 players. Waiting for that plant now. Crashes puts it in play. And once again, we're in the post plant. Once again, you got that Teo utility. Once again, you've got Crashies on a heater.
Dude,
This is
Crashies.
beautiful to watch. As Hero quiet.
Ashes is on a freaking vengeance
Nothing
tour.
to be seen on the cam. Promise you that. And he's just got to face the music or try and save.
Dude,
but
that's another
Chow,
4K for Crashies.
Well,
This is good to see.
this is the Crashies of old. Almost the expectations of a player like this coming across to the region is delivering here today.
I want to see it from that POV the whole way through. Oof.
Like you were saying, the tail util can come in, but instead he just faces and
Just
kills him.
different.
Yeah.
Nice and
See,
clean.
again, he used to kind of have that brute force. It was always a clutch player, Crashies.
Oh, God, yeah.
He's 14 and 4, chat. 14 and 4.
Actually, the other thing you were talking about, that was
Holy,
the adaptation
no
for
assist,
Navi.
by the way.
Much of the timeout really was just to address kind of a tilt loss in the anti-eco. Whether or not that was actually more of a standard look that we'd see.
No, that's
or
what I'm
something they picked
saying,
up on
chat.
and
Like, he
wanted
was
to
the
address on
best
the
for
fly. So that's
a
real
good
question going
time.
forwards.
Oh. Now, seeing where the spike is, this may not be awful, but seeing how far up they've gotten and found no resilience, it may not be a nice... And he's still winning.
Oh, I mean, now Navi can't rotate. Even though it was Alpha Air, they can't.
And no one else is going to stop them. This is just the freest round so far.
Got a Guardian here. In the hands of Shout. Not much else, to be honest with you. I mean, Ultimate, sure, as well, Rolling Thunder, but do you want to invest it this sort of round?
Go of it. Boast is going to be brought in place, but the Molly then denies any push-up coming out from the canteen. Kayak this time going to be noted. Don't know if he gets dealt with, though. And now they got to go... Oh!
What?
No, where's this come from? Flooding back on in. Kron, the guardian of the cross, denies the next step forward. And Xiao trying to find his man. He
NT
can't.
Shao. Dude,
They got
Boaster is
close, but
shooting
again,
today, too.
just slipping away.
I mean, Navi have done fantastically well to find 3 there with the inventory they had at their disposal. But Fnatic stand
No, I
strong
see exactly
on
what
the
you mean,
side,
Kami.
able to clean
You just
things
didn't
up,
get
Nick.
that.
Yeah,
You
I
just
think
didn't get
Fnatic
that,
went to go for a
like...
triple swing to save
I
one
know
of the
this
players
sounds
they had
very
push-up or something,
weird and
and it
subjective, but
looked good and
the
coordinated.
love of the game
No,
type
yeah,
feel from Crashies when he was on NRG, right? You saw it during Optic. You see it a little bit now.
As well. And yeah, curious really of what was...
Oh, get off my lawn.
We're being blessed with the player reacts today.
No, honestly, we can just get that.
I mean, it's always the case with Boaster.
When Optic was at their peak, I would argue that Crashies was the
I mean,
best
we're
initiator.
Genuinely looking happier too.
Yeah.
Kickoff.
Yeah, definitely.
That's
The
like-
energy feels much better
Whenever
today.
I talk to them, they all seem just happy. And I
never do them like that.
I don't remember them being like that. Not in my time.
yeah.
Oh,
Was that because you were
No,
on the
but
other end of the
Crashies
mic?
mentioned that too, right? Like that the team environment was one of the best he's ever had. And that, I mean, that makes a world of a difference, right? We saw it with T1.
Oh, yeah, you're
They had to fix
greatest
the environment
company, yeah.
for them to really unlock the next level.
well,
There was another
luck,
player
Navi.
that talked about it too,
held
but
on these 2 rounds here, and it feels like we're kind of looking a bit like split, isn't it? I need to see more here. That's not bad
Yeah.
though. Catching Kron's pretty solid. Koala Noob's been probably the one to keep my eyes
yeah,
on
the
so
only
far. He's
argument
got
would be
most of
like
the numbers.
Saucy, like
Oh, yeah, definitely
right
was
at the
the
end
case
of
on
that
that
year
one
for
as well.
champs. And I would argue that like strictly for Sova, maybe, but I would even then argue they were 1-1.
I think actually,
30 seconds left.
I'm not sure if Angel would have been close enough, but the confirmation will come through.
I mean, obviously, sure, like Saucy
I imagine there
goes
was something
bonkers and
there for
wins
Ruxic.
champs, but like you can't.
Cut out here, but they forced
know.
their way through. I was going to say, not checking sight fully.
This is going to be punished.
I think that's a
Crashies. You're not gonna
little
go
bit
nuclear again.
revisionist.
Look at the time, 10 seconds. Ruxic plays this so well.
Yeah.
Not
Okay, so
overstepping,
they
holding that
both
big
teams.
precious
You
air
were
on site.
right. There
It's
is a
not
bit of a
short-sighted
time
there from
problem.
Fnatic. I don't know what the plan was.
Like I said, I think Angel's probably caught a footstep or something which draws out the smoke from Ruxic. It makes it way harder to commit towards drop.
I think Alpha was probably calling across some support. Like he could sniff at it. It felt very weak on that side.
I
of the
would
map.
argue that as an initiator, I would have at that
You
time
have
I
to
would have
see they
taken
have
Crashies
Neil
over
on
Shao.
the Cypher case
Yeah.
just to get out. Like that level of util just to get out of that tiny choke, and still it's difficult. Nice shot with Trap at the start.
In certain situations,
I think in terms of overall like team play, team util support, I would. I mean, obviously that partly has to do with how each team plays, but I would take Crashies over Shao.
Got you.
Like 99%.
10 kills. He is
Saucy
leading
is
the
a
way for Navi.
Saucy is more comparable in my opinion.
The thing is, I
But I would argue for the whole year that year,
He always does
Crashies
well, so I feel
was
like I'm worried if I stop doing it, but right
still
now,
on top.
oh, Koala's the one to be on
Saucy
point.
maybe has more X
More
factor,
blood, an
right?
assassination,
And over time he's
and
proven
certainly no
that.
attempt. It was
But
job
that
done.
like came to be later, in my opinion.
I'm surprised they got caught off by that. We've seen the up being used before.
But I mean, I'm fine with people saying like it was, you know, Crashes and Saucy. Like I think that's totally fair. And I'm not trying to disrespect Xiao. I think Xiao should be discussed. But
He's tucking in, sure, but still doesn't feel
Xiao's strength wasn't strictly just like as a team initiator. You know what I mean? Xiao's strength is a little bit different.
Yeah, but no one's really giving him much of a fair fight, right? You look at these positions; they're pretty tucked in. Maybe Xiao would swing or something, but these
You found the exact thing Boaster has? Nice, nice.
God.
That little stress ball thing. I might look into that. That thing looks nice. Navi's
come out on top here, finding 3 kills. Yeah,
It's fine.
Navi's had enough.
gives his life for the cause, I guess.
I can't reach the mute button to laugh in time. Yeah.
No, Xiao could take over rounds, but
I
like
don't
that's
know,
like
it
saying
felt weird.
I think again, it's a Fnatic are losing opening picks.
what's a good way to
They
put
might
this?
Get time to go into these big execs. It's looking beautiful, but in the 4v5s, it's difficult.
But yeah, and you notice it as well, almost kind of stood out in no man's land, right? If you're just holding to wait for the moment to stack up ahead of this execute, there's
Right.
almost
If we're
no
strictly
reason to
arguing
give
just like
away
who's a
anything
better
like that.
player, and that's why
People
you know
there
best players is always going to be
holding the
subjective.
walk up,
But like I think Xiao's strength is more as a player than an initiator, if that makes
Pivotal
sense.
for them, but I'm seeing ult in hand here.
Again, he was still a great initiator. I'm not taking that away from him. I'm not saying like he wasn't using util or anything, but
Okay, it's actually Kayak's ult going to go through first. Trying to lead the way towards the A side. Koala Noob is still around, holding the space up towards Dish. There's no late presence yet. Going to run short, and they've got the plant.
oh no, they didn't.
Wow.
No plant.
These
Chronicle's
spam.
fallen.
It's a bit obvious at this point. This plan.
Yeah.
Yep.
Xiao, we'll find Alpha as well. Now they've got a paint shell to come through to deny even further potentially, but
So he's using that pain shield to keep them trapped in, it looks like, or prevent them from going upstairs. Right before the smokes dissipate. Oh, I love it. They use the pain shields to trap him in, so that when the smokes disappear, they can still catch anyone on the cross. That was good. That was good.
NAVI, gotta say it. Reading this well, starting to find a road to recovery now. The scoreline looking far more reasonable.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, now you're already at an okay position. 5. If you make it 6-6, obviously anybody's game, but
yeah, again, and especially here because you have the Rolling Thunder and the Orbital Strike, I think you could probably invest a little more utility ahead of the plant, right? To force off
the decay instantly wrecks him.
So it's, I mean, it's a squishy target regardless. But yeah, I think you're right. I think Fnatic can probably dig a little deeper, maybe invest a little more.
Crashies is still 16 and 8 and 0.
I think I would just plant in the corner at this point. It's not.
Yeah, the safer plant towards backside, sure.
Exactly, yeah.
One was going well.
Double up. I mean, surely they have rifles by them.
How do you feel about double ops? How do you feel about the word op, Mini?
Op. I prefer
I heard
say-
you rant about it. That's
I
why
say
I bring it up.
I don't know why, but I say
Yeah, I don't know why either. What's that?
no idea.
Why? What was Minnie's rant about the op?
Again.
He's got a man on the other side. He's been good at the... Alpha. It feels like a little cerebral battle of some brilliant players.
Head of the cage though.
Oh, Alpha might read this though. If he, yeah, Alpha might read that he's already potentially pushed out, so he's waiting. He's trying to bait him out.
Fighting his inner demon.
They use the drone.
Come on. It's great out here. Crashes.
No, he did not just bait Crashies in. Oh my gosh.
It was so good.
Crashies, thank you for your service.
In no man's land, plays it forward, finds Alpha without his hat on. And now we're into a 4v3. This has gone topsy-turvy in a second. Boaster's having a go in spawn.
NA is out and fragging EMEA. Is it over for EMEA?
No comfort just yet for Fnatic. Can't really set up.
Oh my gosh.
To trade off ultimates here.
Yeah, there it is.
Y'all
Gonna
are
send
so
that flying.
funny.
Gonna try and buy him a couple of seconds.
This isn't over yet
A couple
though.
of seconds they should
Decent
have. But
delay
Hero,
with the Rolling Thunder.
slow approach through the
Positions aren't
underpass.
great. They basically have to win the contact.
Some utility here for Chronicle as well.
All right, Hero, let's see what you're made of. Oh,
Now we got
dude, the timing. The timing. Oh, so well done.
No chance on that util.
Boaster gives up that position just to come through and try and put the molly down, but it's just a split second. That's their demise. But a
6-6, anybody's game.
Miraculous for Na'Vi to come out and
Damn.
recover this.
Yeah, I like that. Na'Vi, this looked like Fnatic should have taken this half big, but Na'Vi finds the momentum at the end.
They certainly do. Koala Noob lighting it on fire. Beautiful from him, but we're not done yet.
Damn. Who'd have thought? It's Leo. Will you watch America's 2 or just Fnatic? Just Fnatic. I'm starting to yawn. I don't think I can even watch the second match. Especially since we have Pacific tomorrow. I'll send you guys over to Vans if he's watching all the way through EMEA. Mr. Perfect Valorant was never real. Leo wasn't real. I mean, it's doable. It's definitely doable for Na'Vi now. On that note, we didn't actually see as much Neon impact on that attacking half, huh? Sideshow had a sub goal and has to butter up completely. Oh my gosh. What is your sub goal to be the one doing the honor? What is my sub goal to be the one doing the honors? Oh my gosh. I mean, I think we would have to start with 1,000 subs just because I would need the plane tickets. Haven is the third map. Yo, Rosethorn, thank you for the 5 gifted. Just so we're clear, I didn't say it actually was gonna happen at 1,000 subs. I'm just saying that's where the minimum would be. Just in case anyone gets baited. But thank you for the 5 gifted. Appreciate it. We'll set up some fun sub goals. Wow. Dude, Angel, man. What a madman. Dude, how does he win that third fight, man? Oh, 30 bomb this game. Oh, it's muted.
He's halfway there.
Oh. You guys
the
missed
way that
it.
he approaches that towards Dish.
That's
As
my
soon as he
bad.
gets the opener, he's
That's my bad.
charging up towards Boaster. Again, if the rest of Na'Vi can kind of get behind that sort of energy. Brilliant way to stretch their legs here in the early.
He's sober
rounds
now.
of the
Yeah,
second
he's sobered
half.
up. It only took 12 rounds.
Between kind of Koala Noob and the rest of the side as well.
Hey, I'm fine with it. Absolutely fine with it. If it's going to mean round wins and they've clawed back from what was it a 6-2 lead?
Yeah, I think it's 4 at the end there for Navi.
And if he is being supported and set up to succeed, then brilliant.
Okay, but
That's
now
not
you just
great.
go for the
That's
plant.
not what we'd like to see. You're going to get these from Navi, right?
Yeah.
It won't happen to Koala Noob.
Shao.
I mean, Kayak has to find something here.
Oh my gosh, I got worried for a second.
Would have been a big kill though to find that with the classic up close and personal.
Well, suddenly it gets possible.
Dude, Koala Noob is fragging. What's he at right now?
It was against pistols.
Dark Knight, thank you so much for the Prime resub. Love to see you streaming. Thank you, appreciate it. Thanks for using your Prime on the channel again. Welcome, welcome.
Hello?
That is out of pocket.
I'm kidding. I love Joker. He's my favorite.
Just because Minnie's here.
Derek.
The game sounds fine now, right?
Say a bold target, but
It's not still
what I
muted.
should be saying.
That's even worse than what she said.
You here?
I'm right here.
Qualo Noobs 19 and 7. Dude, Crashies was doing so well. Now the KD, it's slowly dwindling.
19-7 though. At some point soon, I will be asking the observers for the koala noob.
Don't do it. It did not pay off yesterday.
No, it didn't. And then got the angel to spite me. Oh, anyone but koala noob there currently observing. Fair play to you. I'll accept that. For now, we'll be leading the way. No challenge to be had on site.
But Fnatic pushing.
But they're
out
pushing
A main,
south.
Conceding the site, trying to do some chip damage, and they've got us kill through the smoke. Watch out for the neon on the flank here. Also gets 2.
And look, koala noob's gone down, which is everything, right? That is your headhunter removed, the ult removed.
Angels tagged
The
up.
kayak has to go big here.
This gets difficult. They've got to find someone else to step up.
Oh, they don't get either. Oh, dude, Navi, the teamwork, the trades, the cover, it's too good.
Brutal. Oh, stop getting kills through
What?
smoke. I thought it's just Stewie 2K who could do these sort of things through smokes, but apparently it's Boaster as well with the 3K.
Oh my
himself.
gosh.
He's just saying this.
They heard
No
it.
one's stopping him
Half
right now.
is done.
Nothing is denying him. Has to take the
Oh
fight, and
my,
he does.
dude,
Against
Boaster
the odds.
just absolutely pooped on him.
They pull it off.
I mean, it's
Oh
beautiful.
my
Like, to me,
gosh.
this is, I know this is strange, but this is exactly what we saw from the last game Fnatic Navi.
Oh.
Navi going for arcade
Well, that
default,
wasn't great.
But this time around, Fnatic wanting to play this kind of off-site B
These are
approach.
those 2 kills. Sorry
He
to cut
can't
you off.
see them. He
Those
can't
2
see
kills
them.
were absolutely. The third was criminal as well.
Oh my gosh.
What was it on split? He was getting
doing the same.
ghost headshots through the smoke.
Cosmetic smokes. Damn.
So I'm happy
Damn.
for Fnatic that they're identifying that,
I feel really sad for you. I don't know which.
that sitting on sites is not a good plan. Sitting off sites, I know it looks stupid that he just got 2 or 3 through smoke, but that's kind of
Yeah.
doing that damage through smokes is very common.
Kayak. He's having an absolute rotter.
Oh
again.
yeah, but Navi's
Gonna
Navi's
double
punishing
down on
him
this, right?
every
Big
time.
punch.
They're like, all right, they're gonna push out every time.
Furious about how that last one went.
But this commitment's so deep. I mean, the first couple of bits of, first few corners, sorry, they get cleared here. Hold on to the space. That's fine. You don't have to convert that into anything, especially so early on. with
No,
contact
EMEA is
elsewhere.
not cooked,
Hero-
chat.
Oh, well, Alpha's on
If
the same
anything,
agenda
the
now as
fact that
well.
Americas didn't keep players who are
But
just
the
top
2v4
fragging in another
presented.
region is maybe the bigger problem if you really wanted to build a narrative. But
Koala Noob on the showstopper. If Navi do want to throw a couple of bodies
yeah, I mean,
into this,
imports is
yeah.
it's fine.
Do you watch chess much?
No, it's like it would be a problem if
a little
like
bit, Chaz.
every team in one region had the same role as an import from another region and they were top fragging every time. Like that would be a problem, right? If like every duelist in Pacific was actually from Americas and they were all top fragging, like then there would be a problem of like, okay, well your region needs to figure out how to play duelists. But other than that,
you knew what it was very
Yeah.
quickly, because these shots through smoke have been happening a lot. Any knowers will understand the reference.
That's wrong.
Well, I'm just saying there seems to be some consistency here. Might have to do a little cough check later. We'll see. As it stands, 9-7. That's the second
Dude.
time. No, don't worry, observers. I see you've shown
no,
us
at
that
some
several
point
times now.
we gotta stop showing that. Like, why are we missing that haunt every time?
A little bit of niceness there. Give them a little bit of kindness.
I mean, they need it. Well, they don't actually, to be honest with you. As
Kayak could do with a little bit of kindness.
yeah, I mean, this.
He loves it,
That's,
he does.
it's really rough because the situations in which we're seeing him getting.
Still stunned about this chess reference, to be honest. Mike doesn't get it, but this is criminal.
Yeah,
What was the chess reference? I didn't hear it.
want to elaborate. Here's the time. We're in the time out here. Go nuts.
I'd moved on.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking about the game, Mini. So,
That's not.
I don't know why you're dwelling on it.
What you,
It's a hard haunt to hit. You need to press like 2 buttons. True, true.
oh, you can go ahead.
You know, in the day and age when we have auto battlers taking over gaming on mobile.
He wants to leave to the desk again.
Yeah. Insu, will you take me back, please?
I'll do any telestrator, it's fine. Yeah.
But just to come back to that same point, this composition, again, it's to put Kayak at the forefront, right, in the action.
No, this UI is clean. This UI is clean. It's much better than just bringing up the entire friggin' scoreboard.
Losing out on gunfights, but the commitments are coming through. That previous example, it's so deep, and it's been necessary in that sort of situation. They've
Hey,
cleared the
Froster.
space that you would want to.
Oh, it's going all right.
At the start of the
This
round,
game's
that's
not.
how they made.
It's better than I thought it was going to be.
Holding up close and
Happy to see
personal,
that.
but then to go and give away the kill to Hero so deep next to ropes, it's a little strange for me. I think that's probably an indication, an indication of, you know, a desperate attempt to get Kayak online, to find the value from the Neon. But if he's just not getting, okay, I'll stop talking.
What's this?
A little more tempered, but it's Hero again.
Oh.
There's no help. He's just on his
Yeah,
own.
no hope, and he's
he
not
just
like
gets
holding the
actually
angle
sat
because
down by
he
Hero.
wants to get ahead of things. It does feel desperate. It does feel a little desperate.
I mean, hey, if you're 2 and 15 and you still commit to this stuff, yeah, but like we were just saying previously, though, Fnatic, how good they look. Yes, Boaster's getting 3 through smoke, but how comfortable it looks sitting off site, conceding, and kind of just taking a pause.
Because overall, right now, Navi are at
Oh.
the helm of this ship, running it back well. Boastercore trying to drip through the smoke. Navi completely catching them unawares. Yeah, your big damage dealer crashes.
Yeah, dude,
is
only
here,
2
but it's
kills
too
on
late
Fracture
anyway.
is rough.
2v5, post-plant like this, no shot. So we've got to kind of come back into this with fresh eyes, right, Mini? Because they're hitting a brick wall here. And we've complimented a lot
Navi's on the
Fnatic, and
hunt.
We can't just put it on the fact that
They don't
Kayak
got
is
much
not
to
having
lose.
much working for him, but the approach, if anything.
Yeah, just to interject there, I don't think this rides on.
Would have
Kayak
rather
not
seen.
delivering.
Well, I guess
don't
Roxy has to
think
stick around for the
that's-
molly
I
just in
think there's
case.
a few opportunities he could have done more.
Yeah.
Maybe not peek that anymore.
Come out of a timeout call with a
Oh, heads up
fairly
play from Alpha here,
aggressive
though,
approach,
with the cyber
I quite like,
cage.
but you know, the Brimo and Tail are online, so like, these are
Oh.
things that can be used in these pushes or are saved for like
Womp,
a
womp,
retake
womp.
situation. And it felt a bit dry.
And again, the spacing between what if Kayak's got?
I think Boaster missed his smoke.
What's happened? Are we just riding on some?
He's playing
Again,
Brimstone,
I'm
chat.
saying the numbers out loud, but are we riding on somebody?
I don't know if we can really give that leeway.
So it feels a little, and whether or not that's something that was just discussed in the timeout, like you said, and
Where did you learn Womp Womp from? You are brain rotted. Womp 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 has been around for like 15 years, chat. Look at all these Zoomers thinking they can just rediscover something after 5 years and call it something new. This is insane.
The opener here in round 18 as well.
You respect some history.
We will pause. No further aggression here.
That's crazy.
Not really suiting it too much. But still, key ultimates available here. But unlikely to see it here in a
Dude, what do you think it is, chat? Is it like an individual consistency issue? Is it simply he's just not getting enough support? I mean, to be fair, they did keep pushing out, and Navi was punishing him hard. So I guess Navi was shooting, but dude, off of here, dude, he was really close to that corner. He could have been spotted.
No hurry on this, but back towards that A site.
Yeah, and actually, just to note it as well, already going to have bodies in rotation.
That smoke didn't close any angles. The only explanation is missed smoke. I mean, he could have. He could have.
Yeah, Angel really heads up about that. Just playing on the edge of the smoke, maybe expecting someone to play through. There are still players. That's not clean enough, really. But how is there no help there coming out for Crashes? I'm surprised he's still alive. Banging shot, but the numbers still sitting in the hands
What
of
do they
Navi in the
mean,
post
Mason?
now.
The
Get
numbers.
disruptive. Alpha with a classic.
Yeah, now with Navi finding the kill on the other side of things.
It's like they get the common cold and call it a discovery these days. I don't think I've ever heard that saying, but that's pretty epic.
Navi, and I'm very impressed with Navi because again, Fnatic looked quite tricky, right? They were coming into.
He's not comfortable, and his stuns aren't there. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. The good relay bolts are what distinguishes a lot. I mean, it's great movement and good relay bolts.
Historically, they've been very good at. So further credit to Navi in that regard.
Getting closer and closer to the previous scoreline of when they met last. That 13-8, which did go Navi's way. For now, 11-7. 3 maintaining themselves standing alive here and just building towards those ults.
I think it's also that 13-8 score. It was a lot about that defense, I think. They were struggling there, from what I remember. And again, not looking too hot here.
Do you watch IPL?
That series at the time.
IPL died in like 2011?
Made it even look as close as it did.
Well,
2011?
Actually sat at 21 and 14.
2013?
We have some double digits yet from Fnatic.
Switch up here coming in. Operator is in play. We've got
Chat,
one on the other
stop
side.
living in
One
the past.
lethal with it.
The IGN Pro
Crashes
League
already.
is over.
This little set piece.
It's gone.
Oh my
IPL
God,
4
they're
was one of the
going in on
greatest
this.
esports events ever. I get it,
Anywhere
but
to hide from it.
it's
Chronicles are
done.
gonna find Angel. I mean, the layering there with the Teo.
I know that's not what you guys are talking about.
A bit more, but honestly, RV making it
How many
through that
people in my
zone
chat right
one
now
loss, one
ever even
casualty.
watched
Feels fortunate.
IPL, the gaming event?
Chronicles still start with a Rolling Thunder as well, though.
I love that Fnatic didn't even have to risk anyone there. Like
Now that I
everything
think
was
about
good,
it,
so the aftershock at the
I'd
end
be
was
impressed if
really
maybe
seamless.
10 of you have watched it.
Beautiful.
The meta haters will not enjoy that. But I do see what you mean. It was very well crafted. That was a little, you know, it feels like one of those cards you can put
Oh,
out
we got
once.
one.
Don't get to probably run it too many times,
We're-
but see them trying to toy with the expectation
We're on
of when
par.
Navi ends.
I was going to say, yeah, Koala has just picked up on that sound cue. So
IPLs
he's
were so
already
much fun.
Rotating on the north side of the map. Gonna be here to
Too bad
complement the
they
backside of this Na'Vi
didn't
XP.
ever learn how to make money, just like every other esports thing in the world.
Fight, but Hero on the run-up does better.
Navi's just gonna close this out, dude. Fnatic looked a little lost.
Big ult though should slow things down.
30 seconds left.
It's very
I have no idea what you're talking about, honestly. Oh, that's so sad. I mean, not like you're sad, but just the scenario is sad.
I mean, Kayak's gonna find that one.
Hold up,
Fnatic
I
fight
may
back
have
15 seconds
jinxed
now.
it.
Not much to play with, but Koala Noob still breathing. There's a threat, but I don't think they can change the outcome now. Shao still giving it a go, but Kayak finally hitting a couple shots here.
Now Operator suiting already here. Maybe an indication of slowing things down on the side of Fnatic. Not going to invest.
Dude,
too
if I'm
much
calling
in
up here, I peek again in the hopes that I get Kayak,
the
no?
tip of the spear, some
And
would
maybe
say.
deny the
It
op.
was a costly round from Fnatic though, using
Yeah, a lot
three
of
ults,
ultimates, yeah.
3 big.
Yeah, like the
power ults
gaming,
there.
like,
Something
you
as
know,
well that we
review
talked about is
platform,
Alpha
IGN? Yeah,
Cypher.
IGN Pro League.
So like Chamber last time, I don't think he was super comfortable.
They used to be in
Cypher, he hasn't played
esports
Cypher
as
in a long
well.
time, and I know it's not his favorite.
How old do you think your chat
What do
is?
you mean by that?
Honestly, I do wonder that every now and then.
And in this round, he didn't. He
And
went
I
for
have
the
no
side
idea.
By himself, you know, Prime Alpha, you might see a couple of kills there, but not getting one there. So something.
Considering everyone thinks any age above 30 is crazy old, there can't be possibly anybody over the age of like 27 in the chat.
Already getting ahead of the curve.
Out of charges.
Here to potentially stop anybody slip in the net on the other side of things. Hero,
Honestly, a
which
poll when we have
gonna
like
stay last round in a couple of
during
situations
Pacific
looked
times,
really
during
good
Prime
Hero
Pacific
map
times
too.
would be interesting. Would be curious.
Well, Crashies on the A site trying to re-clear through A main just to double check what this
16.
is. They've had contact now on kind of polarizing sides. of
What
this.
year is it?
Yeah, on the
2025?
flip side, I think Hero.
Holy.
Cypher, very cerebral. He's been able to draw rotations across. He's comfortable by himself. Having a good game as well.
They're quite often planting the seed of doubt for Na'Vi.
We'll set something up tomorrow.
He had impressive impact previous to now. Starting to warm into the game a bit. It is late, but he's found his man this time.
Call a noob. Call a noob. Oh, dude. Kayak?
Kayak does fall, but they still have Crashes on the site. Hero comes in from Dish, gets what he needs done. A 3v2. Crashes still.
Oh my
holding
gosh!
on
Don't
here.
tell me that. Not.
Pivotal in his
Chad, I have a bad
positioning.
feeling about this. Don't tell me that
Breaking the trend now for
this
Na'Vi.
is.
Almost breaking the rhythm that Na'Vi have established.
No, there's stream tomorrow, Tron.
Like I said, ever
I'm just
since
streaming from the
that
arena,
first
is all.
half, been firmly in control, even with the switch over, and I think that's probably why they believe we're going to see a Na'Vi timeout. A few times now, yeah, Fnatic having the confidence to swing some smoke.
Fnatic knows to come back when the other team has 11. If you ever play Fnatic, you gotta stop at 10, let them get to 11 first, and then get the comeback.
But at least it's not too phased by it, right?
He's in good spirits.
Exactly.
Which actually does make a big difference because it's very easy to get kind of down on yourself and it almost
Seems like
makes
just
the
from
problem
eye
bigger
test,
than
it
is,
seems
but
like
him
we have
feeling at least
right now we
comfortable
have
to
like
make
an
a nice
average
survey
of
the likes
like
it. And again, he is doing better, Mini.
21,
It also ties into that
which
point
is
I was saying earlier
actually
that everyone on the team seems in
better
like
than I
spirits,
thought.
You know, previously if I was coaching, maybe not so high.
They
spirits
wouldn't be,
about
huh?
No, misery was the way
Yeah.
forward.
The common denominator.
It was me. It was all me.
I do feel a little bit worse these days. I don't know. But let's kind of then look at Na'Vi, right? Because they've now been hindered a couple of times, and the big adjustment is that Kayak is starting to find
Buy a
impact.
t-shirt
This
cannon and load it up
operator
with
is
notion
in
cup
play.
noodles.
This feels
That would
it
hurt.
shouldn't be
You know
a
those
puzzle
things
they can't
launch
solve, though, right? It
like
is
crazy
I don't want
fast.
to say a blunt object, but it's an obvious way to adjust. What do they have to try and clear this through? What do they have as ways to try and facilitate towards the site?
Like,
How did
Na'Vi
you
have
think
that
that? Well,
cover
my
and Fade Prowler to make sure that
it's
they don't
weird to
get
say
picked off
fear,
early,
but
and as long
my
as if they hear
my
one shot,
worst case
they need to
scenario
fix
was
that
like
quickly. Don't
that the
let
average
Kayak
age
get
was
more
like
than one shot off, or at the
Smother him,
16,
basically. Don't give him a
right?
chance to reset and take another
like a bunch of
overhand.
middle schoolers being on one side of the bell curve.
Trend does continue for him.
Not spotted by that cam yet.
Yeah, immediately on the X-ray, nope.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just like
Prowler did just go in, and I'm pretty sure
I
that
just
got
don't-
cleared, so they
I just
know
don't
where
get that
he is.
age
Now
group.
we've got to look at the pace. Do they pick it up? Do they still try and smother on the site? They do, but he still stands, silenced, but still answering.
Dude,
the question.
Kayak
Who
heard
is
you
going
all.
down? Who was your big man?
Oh, he heard you all.
Starting to warm into it. They've thrown everything
Oh.
and it finally goes down.
But he did his
Still
job.
advantage.
Exactly the sort of situation we were talking about as well. Able to reset comfortably off that first peak. Coming through, yeah.
they want more kills.
Crashes, wow. Rips the head off
Oh.
Hero. Angel finds one, but it's crashes again.
Okay, doable though, because it's Shao.
Sky, he's on 15 15 kills here. He's quietly been working away, giving himself a little
They
bit of time to
immediately
play
close
with
the
game.
distance
One
for
the
sure.
1v2, and
He's trying to figure out how to isolate. Oh, he didn't plant.
just
Agonizing.
Oh
gut-wrenching.
my
Now he's got to go against the odds uphill. Nearly feels impossible.
Oh my gosh.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
That could have been different.
Oh
rough situation. Feeling the catch,
man.
actually, whether or not there was a footstep or something to make him second guess, but I mean, Kayak said it himself, I'm doubling my kills every round, guys. There's another 2 kills for him.
Yeah, I thought that, to be honest with you, the past 2 rounds, I thought that Kayak was in.
Yeah, no, for sure. The moment he didn't plant, it was over. Because he didn't have the mind games anymore.
Getting on site on this map, especially with an operator.
Dude, Navi's gotta get 12 right here.
That common.
So 11 to 10 now. Na'Vi in the lead.
Oh my
but the gap
God.
has started to close.
The classic
answers have not
full
finished
send
forthcoming,
duelist.
as maybe expected.
Dude, they're still holding?
Qualinoob trying to indicate
Chronicle the
presence,
GOAT.
Pressure.
Still holds all util. And then now uses fault line to re-clear.
See the re-clear here from Fnatic, knowing now that Na'Vi aren't going towards A.
So the Teo comes over, crashes. Doesn't have any util. He has drone though. Oh.
Koala slipping ahead of the smoke.
Oh my gosh. Now Hero's gonna get picked off as well. Never mind. JK. JK. Let me not overreact.
They're going the other way. Maybe the classic CNED answer of just avoid is all they got really to play with. But Na'Vi look lost here.
Yeah, they're almost second guessing themselves here with the second ping and the neural theft.
Oh, and I like this. The slow, steady re-clear. It's exactly what the doctor ordered.
It's
It's
off to that man, honestly, to turn this around now. And again, numerically, it doesn't look fantastic, but it's a total swinging performance.
Hey, we said it about the likes of Qualinoob when he started to pick
They
up,
can
I
go
have
for
to
some
say,
weird half buy if they want, Navi, but I mean, I think they shouldn't at this point.
The funds dwindling as well for Na'Vi. He said even, I wouldn't say a broken purchase, but definitely cracks in the purchase in that previous round. Again, this even to fault Koala in that situation, he's isolated ahead of the smoke. He has to drift ahead of it.
One enemy remaining.
Damn.
Yeah, a course correction here from Fnatic.
I don't know if you can take it.
But honestly, the op helps a lot, right? Because you don't have to push out anymore. You have a Cypher and an op. You can hold a lot of defensive passive positions.
He's just completely ignored.
Sorry,
He's ghosted
I'm
me.
so
I've
locked
been
in.
ghosted
I'm
in the
locked in.
caster booth.
What?
Absolute mod check. Thank you. Vertical thing is just looking at Mini literally.
Oh, what?
Where were we? Flying to the side.
Little
now.
lost.
Just like, no, I'm gonna dip away. I'm
Okay,
off
so
seat.
now
They
it's
can have the
dangerous
side.
for you
I'll
to
wait
take
for
A
you
main. So
guys.
this
Hero's
is
getting
huge from
curious,
Hero.
though.
Oh, I
He's
kind
trying
of
to
wish he had
secure
held
some
that position.
space.
I know it's risky, but
They're not planting yet. They're actually going for the similar open.
okay, he's gonna go
It
back up
looks
to
like punished by
Dish.
Alpha on the first, but Shao with the trade, trying to dig their heels in here. Macron,
Oh.
nice, gorgeous from him. Hero
Not
now.
like this.
He was trying to keep them secure, at least from CT for a moment. Now he's fallen. Fnatic taking the lead in almost the final hour here.
Wait, what? I've just made a discovery. Apparently the Stanley Cup is going to be at similar dates to Masters. So the dates for Masters Toronto are floating. If Toronto makes it far, the event's pushed, but then teams are cooked in EWs. Wait, what do you mean? They just sold tickets, didn't they?
But yeah, I mean, still, you look at it. He's 11 and 19, but the last 5 or 6 rounds has
What does that
been
even-
a huge effort from him.
What does that even mean? Can the drone jump onto Dish? If you jump onto the box, you should be able to, but it takes a lot of time.
Oh, he also, sorry, I think Crash is still at 25 and 16 or
Yes, he
something.
is. Yes, he is. But can Na'Vi get the critical one? Get into OT. The angle looks better.
Oh.
I thought it was better for Hero.
He nicked him.
Attacked. Does he go for this then? Does he speed up on it? He fancies it.
Oh,
He's
dude, he
gone.
almost didn't get it though.
Oh, punishing Hero. The man who's worn that jersey before. Who knows how this feels.
That's rough, man. Dude, Hero is having a rough time today. What?
I've never seen anything like that.
How does he get away with that, man? He was flashed.
Within touching distance.
3v2 now for Fnatic. Still got the operator in hand for Kayak. He's in a position to do some damage, creeping here, but only 20 HP.
Step by step.
I mean, I get what Angel was trying to do, but it's...
Has to face the music.
Oh my gosh.
What a turnaround from Kayak, honestly. Again, he said it himself. I'm doubling my kills, but it's the
Damn, dude.
As soon as that pace change comes from Fnatic.
Yeah, Fnatic slows it down. They get enough money for the op.
Yeah.
But he absolutely delivers.
Like he was fighting, like what's the saying? Fighting in a telephone box? I don't know the saying.
Not familiar with it.
Send it.
There we go.
Yeah,
Send it.
it's a
There we
phrase
go.
now.
Yeah, and I think respect to him, like even after timeouts, like he was kind of sent by himself. In some situations, and he was all for it.
Yeah.
But buying that op seemed to be the answer, and
Yeah, I think initially the
Wait, I don't understand what you're saying though. You're saying that
really excel. Some situations
like
it
is
look
the
like
what?
to the
I don't
swords,
understand
but
what's going on
again,
here
I
about
don't
the
think
Stanley
a lot
Cup.
a lot of these struggles here on Fracture, at least through the middle of that map, ride solely on Kayak.
So again, I do want to note Crashy's here, not just in this map, but the second as well, this whole series.
Oh, dude.
It's night and day.
Tickets were sold
This
for
was a
specific
Crashy's-esque
games.
performance, which I think is one of
They
the ones
sold
that we
tickets
see-
without dates
well, I
fixed.
think
People
we
bought
wanted
tickets
to
without
see it
knowing when the
established
dates were.
here within the region.
And the general look
Are you
of
even
Fnatic
allowed to do
looks
that?
like they're
Are you even allowed to
revitalized.
sell tickets to something where the dates aren't set?
Positive, explosive,
Exactly.
dangerous.
And we noted
That
the
seems a
energy
little
felt much
crazy.
better down on the stage today.
yeah, that's beautiful. Also the Teo Bridge, first time we see
Yeah.
it. I'm a big fan.
Big fan. Would you keep the neon? They can hear you right now, by the way. We're going out to the studio.
Who's Stanley Wise is going so important.
No,
Hockey,
I think
hockey.
it's fine. I think
North
they just
American
need to
hockey.
Work on where it was working, where it's not working.
Yeah, definitely.
No, I get that there was a huge problem with scalping, but I'm just saying, like, are ticket platforms allowed to sell things without a date attached to it? I mean, obviously you could always be like, oh, sorry, rescheduled, but
Brilliant performance, stand out for the side, and he got them to 11.
I'm confused. I'll look it up. I'm not quite catching on to what you're saying, but I'll look it up. I assume that there's plans.
Buying the op, and then Fnatic kind of stole it and just used it against them.
So we do have a bit of treat. Thank you both, by the way, for the first
It's a pleasure.
official TriCast. I think went all right.
Yeah, not too far off the rails.
It's all right, Minnie.
I bullied a little bit, but
A little bit of bullying. That's fine. All right, ignore him. Anyway, we have a treat for you lined up. It's the man who looks night and day from
GG.
kickoff. It's Crashies. joined by you.
Ooh, let's hear from Crashies.
Thank you very much. That is right. I'm now joined by Crashies from Fnatic now. Crashies, what did you eat this morning? What's the routine? What's been going on?
What's the routine?
This form is, peak Crashies. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling really good, obviously. I worked really hard just after kickoff just because I wasn't satisfied at all with how I performed. I had to really, like, just grind really hard. I got my routine down, and I just do the same thing every day, and I'm glad it's paid off.
Dunking your face in a bowl of ice water? No?
With the Saratoga water?
Yeah, not quite, not quite. How would you compare this crashes we see right now in EMEA to, you know, some of the ones that people remember more fondly of, the Optic, Envy, NRG? What's different or what's the same?
I think my skill level is definitely, like, it's up there right now for sure. I think my routine has just been the main, like, culprit for that. I've been just really working on myself as an individual and how to help this team succeed. So yeah, I'm just super happy that
the comms look good. You look really comfortable on the fade on the Tejo. So what was the reason for these changes?
We talked about it a lot. We have two great initiator players in me and Chronicle, so it makes sense that we both play initiator, and we can let Alpha do his thing at Sentinel. He was a world-class Sentinel when he played it. So yeah, I mean, it was a pretty simple conversation, honestly.
What was Alpha's reaction when he was told he doesn't have to play Tejo anymore?
He was a little sad
really?
that he was going on Sentinel. He gets bored on Sentinel, he says.
I can see that.
But yeah, I mean, he's insane, and the whole team's insane.
There's something about you guys, you know, it's never a loss until the game is over, right? And poor Navi, they have to be on the receiving end of these two comebacks. And I think the attitude from Kayak, we saw a lot of the comms, even when he just had 2 kills, the vibes were good. So tell me how you guys maybe helped Kayak a little bit to make sure you all stayed in the game. And honestly, the last 5 rounds was incredible for me.
Yeah, he kept joking every time that he was doubling his kills. He was getting 2 kills, and his attitude the whole game was honestly really good. We didn't really have to do too much. We just kept doing our thing, and he just honestly, like, rode the wave. So yeah, shout out to Kayak.
And last question, Mini was casting, obviously, your game. He was doing a little bit of bullying, but all things considered, he said some very nice things. And one thing he kept reiterating was, when he was on Fnatic, the boys never seemed this happy, and the vibes didn't seem this positive. And now you've joined this team. Where does this happiness come from? Do you feel the same? Like, everything is just great?
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same. Everything is just great. Like, they're like brothers to me. Like, we play, we, like, fight, we wrestle. Like, we just do, like, brotherly things. So, like, we're always happy to see each other and be with each other, and it's just good vibes.
Is the Crashies Alpha bromance, is that real?
It is real, I think.
It's real?
Yeah, it's getting there.
Oh, man.
Oh, no.
No, you love to see it. You love to see him just enjoying it, man. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for Fnatic.
We have one more game this week, and that will be between Team Liquid.
All right, chat. I can't stay for this game. I'm going to hop off, but we're going to send you guys over to Van Silly. So show Van Silly some love. It looks like he's going to be sticking around, I think. So hop on into the raid. You guys will be able to watch it with Vans. Go say hello for me. Be nice to him. And honestly, the next game is an interesting one as well, right? Because there's another grudge match there as well. So that should be a fun one. Just as a reminder, I will be streaming tomorrow, but I'll be at the arena. So we'll have kind of the loud bumping music in the background and whatnot, but it should still be fun with all the vibes tomorrow. So make sure you tune in. Thanks so much for the gifted subs today. Thanks for all the support. Thanks for the views, even late at night, at least for me. And I hope you guys enjoyed the next match. It is Team Liquid versus Gentlemates. And I will see you all tomorrow. Have a good one. And for YouTube as well.